Yo, 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 what's going on? It is your boy Brandon. Hello, thank you for hanging, thanks for chilling. Sorry, y'all. Had got a little sick over the weekend. I feel much better now. Um, but yeah, we're back to streaming. Very stoked. If you are new here, come join. I always leave a link for the Discord. So come through if you have not yet. But I feel like we're gonna do an album stream. I missed out on doing one on Saturday, as aforementioned. I was sick, so now we're gonna do it tonight because I feel like we should, you know. So definitely excited to get into that. Kaylee, hello, thank you, thanks for hanging. I don't know why it sends me this in this little window here. So weird stuff. Uh, Gunky says, evening, glad you're feeling better. Thank you, thank you. Sarah says, welcome back, bestie. Glad you're feeling better. Yeah, it was, I will say it was rough. It's a rough time. Would not wish that on anyone. That is, especially, it just sucks. It just was a bad experience. So, very cool. Very cool. We've got a ton of albums that we've listed that have been suggested. I feel like I never have enough hours in the day to collectively do them, but I'm excited to do this. We haven't done an album stream in a very long time. So I felt like it's probably best if we do the album stream and everything. So I know there's a ton of albums on here. If there's one that you feel like we should catch up with first, then I'm down to do it. I have no problems. I know a couple people messaged me about albums and everything, so I'm down to cover whatever we've got on here. Hopefully we can get into a couple albums tonight, but that's the vibe. So Biscuit, hello. Sally, hello. Diz says, are you feeling better? I am feeling much better. Thank you for asking, Unhi. Thank you. Kaylee says, are you interested in listening to any? Ooh, you know what? I don't know. That's tough. That's tough. I know Unhi really wanted me to listen to the Young Posse record, so I feel like that would be fun. Um, I'm trying to think of what other ones on here that I'd be down to check out. Um, the N.Flying one, I think I've missed out on listening to, so that would be sick. I did listen to Happy Birthday. That one was sick. I enjoyed that one. I have not listened to Viviz yet, Sally, so I definitely would like to check them out, or check out that album, excuse me. There's a few on here. I don't really have Duh, I've listened to from P1 Harmony as well. Um, yeah, there's a few on here that I haven't gone through, but I feel like at some point I'll probably just have to I'll have to go through and actually, like, in my work day, I'll have to go through and pick some of these albums to listen to and give my thoughts. That'd be really sick. Let's see. Gunky says, I would like for you to listen to 10 Black's album for Glass Heart, but that's up to you. Ooh, that would be sick. Yeah, funny fact, shout outs to Dai from this band called Pale Dusk. They're from Japan. He actually has some co-writing on that album, so I did see that he had done stuff. Pale Dusk is like this insane, like, metal, I don't even know, they're like this progressive, like, mathy metalcore band from Japan. They're insane. Check them out if you haven't already. But he has some writing credits. He's done stuff for, like, Bring Me the Horizon. So he's a very talented songwriter, so I would definitely be down to check that out. Kaylee says the N.Flying one is great. Okay, cool. We'll do that. Jazz says, hi y'all, also glad you're feeling better. Thank you, Jazz. Sarah says, I'm trying to think of a choice that's less obvious than mine. I was gonna say Sarah's, I already knew. YDBB, that'd be fun. I don't believe I've listened to BB's new album, so Sally, thank you for Harmony, thank you as well. We'll get started with Young Posse, because I feel like that one's been poised, so I feel like we should do that. The N.Flying one is great. Okay, we'll do that too. The Young Posse one seems shorter, so I think that should be good. Let me get it loaded in here. Should be good. Okay, cool. Let's check it out. It's like 7 songs. The longest song is 3 minutes and 46 seconds. So, all right, let's check it out. This is Growing Pains Part 1 free. So, let's give it a listen. Yeah, it's 21 minutes. Let me know if the volume's good, chat, or not. This is cool. Freestyle. Okay. You want me to watch the MVs? I'll pull the MVs up. All right, let's get that pulled up. I'm gonna have so many screens open. It's all right. We'll pull it up. Here we go. Oh God, that's not what I want. I want a Chromecast. All right. It's fine. Okay. There's so many screens. It's okay. All right, let's go. I'll close out Spotify. Swap over. Do not make it easy here. All right, cool. It's so much louder on YouTube. What the fuck? Yes, sir, we're out of control. Take a block, but you got to break my fester. Tell them, yes, sir, you get it, yes, sir. You got more yes and have a pressure. Yes, sir, yes, sir. Attitude, speak up, they but on my group. Peter Pan, but with the truth, speak up in the app with you. That's alright. That's fun. Part of the fun. Hey. I like that arpeggiated synth in the back. That's sick. I like that rhyming scheme. That's cool. I gotta say, they have stepped it up. They have stepped it up. I dug that. All right, that was Yes Sir, one of the first off this album. Very cool. There's another music video. We'll check out Freestyle in just a second. This was great. I definitely enjoyed this a lot. I think for a song that's roughly around that 2 minutes and 30-second mark, I think it's got good pace. Like, I could understand if maybe the song was a little bit longer, it could seem a little bit repetitive, but I really love that insane, like, arpeggiated synth. It feels like such a, like, primary factor in this song that I appreciate. Oh wait, the music video is 2 minutes and 8 seconds, so it's a little shorter. But I really enjoyed it. I think they killed the rapping. They've always been really good at it, but I felt like this one feels a little bit more like calculated. I feel like they seem like more on their A game, so I definitely appreciate that a lot. As well as that, just like the song choice was great. I felt like it really worked out well. For their like vibe and everything. I feel like they have definitely elevated their game for sure. So I enjoyed this a lot. This was a very good one. I was pleasantly excited to listen to this new release, and I feel like Unhi did a good job in telling me to not listened to it yet, so I could go through and listen to the full release. But yeah, this is a great starting song. I feel like the hype, the energy level is high, so I definitely dug this. This is great. All right, well, cool. We'll move into freestyle, which was on the board here, so we'd love to see it. All right, let's vibe out. Let's check out the next one.
Young Posse back in the house. 다시 돌아왔지 straight out of town. Clap your hands, everybody now. Yo, DJ, spin the mouth.
Andy, hello. Thank you for hanging. That synth is sick too. Ugh. What? Did we jump in an elevator? I like this. Ooh. Ooh, halftime? Yeah, halftime. Nice. That was clean. I like that. Wow. All right. Cool. I like that. That was Young Posse's freestyle. If you're hanging out, we're doing a bunch of K-pop albums, but this one was fun. I enjoyed this one. I feel like both have been really good. I feel like Young Posse I feel like they always intrigue me in terms of their style, and every time I come back, I'm like, damn, I'm like, what are they gonna do this time? And I feel like this one, arguably, I feel like in terms of their title tracks is a little bit more out there, and I could understand if maybe some of y'all didn't like it. I feel like it would make sense totally. This one feels the most jarring in terms of the title tracks that I've heard from them so far. But man, I really enjoyed this one a lot. I feel like they always concoct something very interesting, and this one, like that jazzy section, I thought maybe they were only gonna give us like a bar or two, but it was very interesting to hear like a larger portion of the that part of the song be like a jazzy break. I thought that was really sick as someone who has spent a lot of time listening to jazz and being taught by jazz teachers and stuff. I thought that was a cool section. Definitely way out of left field, but I feel like they almost always wind up doing something like that. I like the way that they kind of got out of it because I was curious on how they were going to transition it. I like that synth choice kind of has more of a, weirdly enough, it kind of gives me a little bit of a like rock or almost metal stylization to it after the jazz section. Obviously maybe more so done with like synth versus like electric guitar, but I thought that was really cool, and I definitely appreciate that choice as well. And then bringing it in with like the halftime I thought was neat, and then kind of full circling it back to the beginning part of the song I thought was really interesting. I think they did a good job of, again, kind of putting all of that together in like a cohesive package. I think very easily it could have gone off the rails slightly, so it was cool to see, you know, this one kind of come together, I would argue. So I think, I don't know, it's tough. I liked both. I don't know if I really have a preference for either one. I think maybe Yes Sir might be a little bit more my speed, but I also really wanted to give a lot of nods to Freestyle because I did enjoy that a ton too. So I feel like this is probably going to be pretty good in terms of their releases. I feel like their B-sides are truly where I kind of differentiate. So I feel like I'm excited to listen to the B-side. So I'm going to get those pulled up now. So we've got it all locked and loaded here. So we did listen to Yes Sir, and we also listened to Freestyle. So we are moving on. Looks like the next one is ADHD, which I feel like somebody who is writing their material has to be slightly ADHD, which I mean that as a compliment. I feel like their songs are a little bit out there, but I love to see it. So Gungi says, nice change. Sally said, suddenly turned jazzy. I liked it. Jazz says, yep, I prefer this one over the other one. Kala says, I don't listen to a lot of them, but this one's solid so far. And Connie says, I prefer the B-sides on this one as well. And he backed that up. So, all right, we're getting into the B-sides. Let's check out ADHD. Let's give it a listen. Ooh.
Yeah, mirror, mirror 할 수 있는 데까지 mirror 아무것도 하나도 안 쉬워 쓰레기조차 제때 못 치워 요즘엔 뭐 나들의 finger princess라는 뭐라나 얘는 안 줄 거야 뭐 하나 병이 또 끌고 오는 병 나가겠지 수만 명 이젠 모르겠어 평범 내 기준도 달라져 난 앞으로 꾸준히 갤리 할 일이 계속해내겠지 Today 미들은 매일 우린 다 서툰 3시 AD 머릿속은 번개 집중은 짧게 생각이 너무 많아서 말도 못하겠네 세상은 나보고 왜 이리 답을 원해 It's just me 안 할 거야 내게 obey 달려볼래 내 맘대로 폭주 앞에서 보란 듯이 치킨 뜯어 복수 보란 잔디에 집중
Ooh, interesting. That is a really crunchy synth sound. Huh.
Young Posse, knowing like that. It up and not back. That's it. They want to get. I'm a shelter guard, I'm Blake. I wake up, wanna get it. I'm the trouble morning, bouncing good, and I'm the manga. 난 강한 것이 don't reading 안겨도 짧지 섹시 모드 때려치면 다들 많은데 나는 또 왜 하나도 안 잡혀 그게 안돼 알아면 안 돼 의미 없네 마음만 하면서 일을 방해 이런 것부터 해결하고
That vocal distortion is cool.
가방을 빨래도 꺼내고 생각이 없었는 거 with the flow 생각이 없어도 흘러가고 생각이 있어도 없는 거고 그럴 배 없는 게 편해지도 Already know 당한다고 이것만 보고 한다고 나는 또 폰을 들고 또 다짐하고 머릿속은 번개 집중은 짧게 생각이 너무 많아서 말도 못하겠네 세상은 나보고 왜 이리 답을 원해 It's just me 맞추려 하지만 no way 달려볼래 내 맘대로 폭주 앞에서 보란 듯이 치킨 뜯어 복수 머릿속 회로를 떨어지고 집중
Ooh, interesting. Okay. It's a very danceable beat. I'm here for it. All right, cool. That was track 3 from Growing Pain Part 1 called Free from Young Posse. Very nice. It it is a very fitting song name. I would agree, Uni. Kala says this one is sick. Ooh, okay. I enjoyed this. I do feel like it is very. I feel like this song is very textured. The synth is very crunchy. I think they put a lot of distortion in like the way that whoever did the mixing for this song. I want to see if maybe there's credits for this. I want to see who it might be. Oh, there's no produce. Okay, interesting. I feel like the production on this was wild. Like, to me, that was probably the most interesting part of the song. Like, the voices, obviously their voices are very like interesting. And I liked it. It almost feels a little like robotic in some ways, which I think is interesting. I would have never put those together, but I thought it was cool. I couldn't help but think there was I was trying to figure out what song it reminded me of. And in some ways, it kind of reminds me of I think it's Eiffel 65, the blue, like the blue baba dee ba da da. Like, for whatever reason, I was just thinking that, and I'm like, why does this melody sound familiar? And I was like, oh god, I'm like mixing. If you saw me like mumbling words at the end of the song, I was like, holy shit, it kind of reminds me of that. And I think the synth, like the way that the synth melody is too, was kind of in the same ballpark. And I was like, oh god, I'm like, this is like close, not 100%, but close. And I feel like the guilty by association kind of came through on this song, which is not bad. Like I said, it's not a bad song. Obviously, it's got its dues, certainly, but yeah, that was like my first thought, and I was like, wow, they must really love Eiffel 65, and that's sick. But overall, I thought it was good. I definitely feel like the two title, or Yes Sir and Freestyle, I feel like are the top runners right now, but I feel like this latter half might be really good. So excited. The next one is School's Out by Sunhi and Doyan. Very nice. Kala says, I love texture. You said the word I was looking for. Ooh, very nice, very nice. And Connie says, I love that song, the iPhones. Very nice, very nice. Very cool. All right, let's check out School's Out. I'm curious what this one's gonna sound like, so let's give it a listen. Not the Alice Cooper song, by the way. I wish, but ooh. Kind of giving me some like Porter Robinson feels. I'm about it. Ooh. I like this. Ooh. I wasn't expecting that. Huh. Whoa, nice build up in the pre-chorus. Interesting ending. Huh. All right, cool. This was track 4, School's Out, and this was Sunhi and Doyan. Very cool. I enjoyed this a lot. As I mentioned before, it was kind of give me some like light. I guess it would be more modern Porter Robinson music, which is like kind of that combination of like electronic mixed in with like some like that cool kind of I guess guitar section. I would imagine it's like a sample or something that they recorded, but it was really cool. I like this. Sunny and Doyan have great voices. I know that I have listened to a fair amount of Young Posse's music. I think I've listened to actually all of their releases up to this point. And I've enjoyed a lot of them, and their B-sides I feel like are some of their best songs arguably. But I felt like this one was really good. I'm not surprised it's kind of lower on the play, end of scale, just because I feel like this isn't the typical of what you would hear from them. But I thought this was really, really well adjusted for them, and their voices sound great, especially in that chorus. I don't know who's doing like the over the top ad lib sections, but really like gorgeous like falsetto tone and stuff. So I thought that was really great. It just kind of like the way that this was structured out, I thought was really good. I think probably the only thing that I was a little surprised about was like the ending of the song was very like they ended it off with like that guitar section, and I thought for sure like there was either gonna be some like more vocals at the end, or I thought maybe they were gonna do something else with the rest of the song. So I was a little surprised they kind of just let it slowly fade out. So I thought that was a little odd, but not like bad. I enjoyed that guitar riff a lot, and I got to enjoy a little bit more of it at the end. But I was a little surprised they kind of cut it like that. That would probably be my. It's not necessarily a gripe, but I definitely was like a little questionable, But I enjoyed this one a lot. I always enjoy like the really kind of like black sheeps of like records. I feel like that's almost really fun. So I feel like this one's a great one certainly, and highlights Sunhi's and Doyan's skills. So very cool. Uni says this is the most tonally different track on the album, and I think it's well placed. The track listing provides a nice breath in the middle. I would agree. It definitely, especially after ADHD, I was like, man, are they gonna give me another like intense song? But I'm glad this one felt very good, especially dead set in the middle. So, all right, we are moving on to the next one, which is track 5. This is Money Bank, I believe. So let's give it a listen. Let the guitar roll out a little bit.
You better stay away. Go.
Cash rules everything around me. Bring get the money.
Oh.
Cash rules everything around me.
Okay.
What? I'ma get that money.
That theremin's going off. What?
너도 터블레일 때 정말 리지만 잔뜩 써 쿨하게 장님 없이 그냥 놀래 put your hands up 왜 BBS bust down 신호해 Timberland fresh out runaway 주문해 깊이 탕 비싸 I don't care cause you get that
That's such a weird chorus. I love it. The rhythm sections are sick in the song.
I'm a dance, I'm a rap, I'm a slap every step throw back you got it done it by my price tag take the sir come again 스님은 결선 안 했잖아 내꺼 stick up give me the paper 다 것도 곱빼기는 없어 내 mathematic and if I with you look magnetic 왜 BBS bust down Timberland I'm flexing 주문해 we chicken pizza give me my money
my god, it sounds like a fucking bird. Wow. All right. That was Money Bank by Young Posse. Oh my god. Very interesting. I feel like this is like really, I feel like if we turn the like Young Posse like stylization up to 11, I feel like this is what we would get. I enjoyed it, but I also feel like maybe this song isn't for me at the same point. Like, I like the production, but I feel like almost overstimulated, right? Like, I feel like the song is just like really out there in only a way that I feel like Young Posse can do a song like that. Like, I really wouldn't expect any other group to be like this out there with their discography. But I feel like this is so like in the paint in terms of like Young Posse's music. I liked a lot of the different the different things that they incorporated into the song, like the closing of like the cashier box, like the sound like you would that like an old register would make, like, you know, with the bells and stuff. I think it was cool to obviously incorporate that, like the cha-ching sound like that we'd hear in like movies or like TV or what have you. I thought it was a really cool way to kind of incorporate that sound in there. That theremin is wild. Like, whoever was doing that was just like fucking, they had a time, for sure. Like, they definitely went ape shit with that, and I gotta respect them for it. But I thought this was interesting, and then like even like vocally textured wise, it is like up there. Like, you've got like those really deep like 808 sounds, and like their voices are like doing like the ASMR whisper type like vibes, and it's just all over the place. I feel like this one is like up there with like, I feel like if they switched Money Bang out with the titling of ADHD, like this probably wouldn't be too far off either. But yeah, I don't know. I think for me, it's like, it's an interesting song. I'm glad I gave it a listen. I think production wise, I definitely feel like it exceeds in all aspects, but I feel like maybe personally as like a stylistic choice, I'm glad I listened to it. Like, it's a like production wise it's insane, but I feel like maybe personally as like an actual song that I would go enjoy, I feel like this may not be in my depth personally. But if you love this song, this is one of your favorites off the EP, hey, more the power to you. But I felt like this one was a little bit like, I know Young Posse does some crazy shit. This may be like, we may have hit the peak of craziness for me. So, but I enjoy it. I thought it was interesting. Unhi says it's one of my faves. That's fair. No, Santa says I was playing Borderlands and didn't realize what time it was. Hey, let's go. Shoutouts to Borderland. But yeah, I don't know. Not too bad. Not bad. Like I said, probably will grow on me. I'll give it another listen. I'll give it another couple listens, Unhi. Maybe whoever was driving the theremin would come and beat me over the head with the theremin, and maybe I'll love it. So, anyway, we're gonna keep it moving. The next one is Soju, so check it out. This is already more interesting.
한잔 꺾어 정신 없어 it's okay 걱정은 말아 뺄 것은 아냐 정신 똑 차려 안 차릴래
Huh. Interesting. I love the minor tonality of the song. It's cool. I love this real drum kit in here. I was sick. I wish they kept it longer. a cool section though too. Ooh, cool building. The vocal minor tones also very sick. Ooh. Yeah.
언니들 이제 그만 진짜 걱정돼요. 이제 좀 신경 쓰고 적당히 마셔. 그 와중에 더 채우고 다 같이 다 외치네. 좀 행복해 보여. 난 지금 옆에서 물 만들지. 내 스타일은 물 만두지. 나도 알코올 좋아하지. 말하면 좀 놀라지. 소독용 알코올이면 내 행복도 풀로 차지. 언니들은 술을 골라. 나는 잔에 따라 콜라. 이렇게 마시면 꽐라 될 수 있을지도 몰라. 어른처럼 박사 인상 이고 일이 좀만 기대. 이제 하얀났던 비상 어머 emergency야 이런 말 한 번씩 나 가고 싶어 열심히 넘어 PC방. 내년에는 검열 없슈. 동생들이 받는 고통한 네가 성인 되면 내게 나도 언니야.
Interesting. Wow. That production comes in. Wow. Wow. All right. That was track 6, Soju. If you're listening in for Young Posse's Growing Pains Part 1 free. Let's see, a couple comments here. Sarah says, I saw the lyrics of this song on Twitter when it dropped. I was so icked out I skipped the whole album. Oof. Sorry to be listening to this. That's rough. I'll have to check it out in my free time. No says, I'm gonna need K-pop groups to stop saying gang gang unironically. And he says, yeah, some unfortunate lyrics in this one. Crazy production though. I would agree. I can't speak for the lyricism. I'll probably again go check it out in my free time. I do feel like that does weigh in on my. I feel like it does weigh in on my deliberation on songs, just because I think especially international songs where I feel like maybe I have to go and search out the lyrics a little bit more. If it's a little controversial, that's rough. I feel like I probably wouldn't give it another listen if it is controversial in that aspect. But I feel like given that we listen to these albums in full, I obviously have to give this song a listen and adjust this. But I will say, outside of the lyrical problematic situation there, I gotta say the production on this song is probably my favorite on the album so far. I feel like maybe if track 7 has maybe the same level of production, that'd be sick. But the production on this song was so cool. I loved a lot of like that cool like piano stylization. The chord progression was really sick. I loved a lot of like the minor tonalities that they used in that. It felt very like, I don't know, like theatrical in some ways. It was definitely like more of a darker song, and you can tell by like the production style. I loved a lot of like the ebbs and flows of the song. I felt like the production kind of pushes and pulls with the music, and I felt like in terms of like performance of like the members of Young Posse, I feel like the performance was also up there, top tier. But yeah, I thought the song itself was incredible. I think if they made an instrumental version of this, I would be spending many hours dissecting this song because I really enjoyed the like production value of it. But I feel like maybe just for lyrical connotation and not being as aware of the lyricism in the song, I feel like maybe it might hit the back burner a little bit. But yeah, I would say in terms of like production style, this was like up there for sure. So we're gonna move on to the next one. The last one on this release is Same Shit, Another One. I don't know if that's a DJ Khaled reference or not, but I feel like he almost always includes another one. So I thought maybe potentially could be. But anyway, let's check out the last one. Maybe they're big fans of DJ Khaled. I don't know. This one's cool already. Not the skr and the fucking auto-tune. Wow. These synths are awesome. What? Wow. I love that production push right here. Wow. Woo.
Somebody told me YDBB 잘될 것 같냐고 당연히 모르지 알면 또 짜리 까냐고 그렇게 저러러 거기쳐 계시나 봐 나는 봐야겠어 내 미래 널 두고 앞으로 가지 카메라 앞에서 그대로 비처리 가사도 안 바꿨지 블라블 다시 또 헛소리 거기 대답으로 푸른 점을 찍었지 현상유지 절대로 안 할래 발전 없이 어찌 주머니 채워 I don't matter 같은 더 매로 출력을 배로 돌입해 next level 쑥 가려둔 표정 뒤로 보여 on my back 돌아볼 그날에 또 부끄럽긴 싫어 Leave behind my past 기대비가 내려 장난이 다 지워 하루 양의 레이어 뒤로 감아지어 스타일라인이 이어 카드처럼 feel 돌아봐 adios yeah time to work out 버려야 될 time breaking out loud real time no I won't chase it better me beat the cage shake it high sorry but do your stay fame and gold like all about your ass ain't you another one done testing and I'm on the peak of band the music the system jumping ridiculous no more break switch to under the test ain't you
Very nice. All right, this was track 7 to close out the release. Same shit, another one. They did hit us with the fade out. That's real. That's real for them. I would say this one's my favorite, 100%. I love this in choice, and this was like texturally chef's kiss. I loved it. Man, it was so good, and like I think it borderlines on that cusp where it could be a little repetitive, but I think that they switched it up enough where it doesn't feel very samey. Like even though the like that synth stays the same, like I think the like way that they come into the song, I feel like switches up the vibes. Like I am not normally a fan of like severely auto-tuned music, but I feel like their vocals just like fit super well with like that really great like synth chord phrasing, and like it just kind of melded together. It was very good. I really enjoyed this one a lot, and like super riffy. Like I feel like it almost like I feel like your body almost convulsively just decides to do the like head bob. Like it just like you just get into that groove and you're just like feeling the song, and I'm like, damn, like that one really like puts you in your chair like and just straps you in for the ride. So I definitely appreciate that a lot. That was a great closer song. I think I'm surprised it has. I'm surprised it's not wasn't as well played on this release. Maybe I'm just like maybe I'm a little bit of a weirdo because I love listening to albums in full, but I felt like this one was a fire song to end the playlist with here. But I think overall, I think Same Shit, another one, was my top one. I think Yes Sir was my second favorite. Freestyle would be my third favorite. And I think an honorable mention to School. Actually, no, I would make Schools Out my fourth favorite, and I'd say honorable mentions Soju. I think like just given the nature of the lyricism, which I can't comment on, I feel like without me being able to read the lyrics, I can't determine whether or not that should be on my favorites. But I do have to give it credit for having insane production. But I feel like that's the only credit I can give for it. So if I really had to rank Soju, I feel like it would just be a NA right now. I like it, but I don't really like trying to support problematic stuff if possible. So, but yeah, great release. I enjoyed it. I feel like, you know, it feels very Young Posse, but I feel like they're also growing. And I don't know if whether or not, I imagine I don't know if they would release part 2 now because we're getting closer to the end of the year. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they start off the next year with part 2 if they do a part 2, which it seems like they're leaning more towards. But yeah, I enjoyed this. So Noah Santa says, I'll forgive the fade out. Are you not a fade out enjoyer? I will say some songs I feel like fade outs are great. This one I feel like I would give it the justification for a fade out. I enjoyed it. I think it worked personally, but I understand not everyone's a fade out enjoyer. So Noah Santa says, resolve the courts you count. You wanted to have a finite ending. Okay, I'll listen. I'll give you credit. I'll appease that. That's fair. So, all right, cool. We're moving on to the next one. Sally has recommended VVZ, so we are doing that one next. But couple comments before we migrate. Connie says 8 out of 10 for me. Ooh, okay. Uni says they still have room to grow and need to work on avoiding controversial things. I feel like this EP is definitely a step up for them. I can't wait to see what's next. I agree. I feel like, yeah, and you know, I'll relegate my comment to I don't think that people can't change, and I feel like maybe potentially I don't know how much control they have over the lyricism, but I feel like they do have an opportunity to not do problematic songs. So I think it's kind of a, I think it's kind of a give and take where I feel like they have a responsibility as artists to not promote problematic things, and I feel like writers should do a better job of not writing songs that are problematic. So that's how I feel, but that's my commentary. So Sally says VVZ, yeah. No, Santa, we are listening to albums. We're doing the album stream tonight because I died over the weekend, so here I am. Kala says this one has been on repeat for me. It's the one I'm thinking of. VVZ, yes, it's the first album. I guess it came out this year, so very nice. All right, I'm stoked. Let's get into La La Love Me, which I feel like I've listened to already in MV. So let's check it out though again. They're on the not Spotify. They're on Discord. I've been scrolling through on the Discord. Sorry, no Santa. Ooh. I remember loving this title track. I remember this one right away. This is so good. Shit. That really fucking riffy bass section. Oh. This is a good pick, Sally. I concur. Ooh.
Tragedy, you're the word to me. Did you say what I think you said? Oh my God, did you say you love me? The time that I take and feel you. Like, oh my God, double so empty 'cause we both feel it too. Like you. You gotta love me. Alright, you make me high. You gotta
Those ad libs on the top, so nice. Very nice. All right, that was La La Love Me from VVZ and their first album. I assume a montage of space. That's what it kind of looks like. So very nice. I loved that title track. I feel like I haven't listened to it in a while, but I don't know. Maybe I have a little weird of a quirk about like Spotify, but I love watching the MV, and I feel like to me, I hear different things when I listen to it, like when I'm just listening to it on headphones. So so much fun. I enjoyed this one a lot. Real quick, Sarah says, okay, I got to nail a presentation in my class. Have a good rest of the stream, everyone. Sarah, best of luck. Let us know how you make out. Very cool. Anyway, I enjoyed this one a lot. This was a cool one to revisit. I don't often get to revisit songs, so it was cool to re-listen to this one. But there's just so much tonality, I feel like, between like Simbi, Unji, and Unha. I feel like they're really great together. They have such a cohesion. I really like their actually previous release. I listened to that a ton. That was Voyage. I listened to Voyage a ton, and I love that one. I still go back and listen to it so much. But this one might replace my VVZ listening habits, but this one just got such a good hook. Like, I love that kind of, that really, I don't know if it's actual bass that they've kind of tailored to a synth tone, or if it's like a synth tone that's like is kind of emulating bass in some way. I thought that's so good. Like, that riff, like their riff that they chose was just so fun. But I also got to say their choruses are really good, and I think that's really where a lot of their vocals shine. So I definitely appreciate that a ton. But yeah, this was such a fun song. It was a good revisit. Again, glad I'm getting to listen to all of these again, but still think it's a phenomenal title track. I think it still might be up there. I'm scared to see what my favorite K-pop releases are this year, because I feel like I don't really have a definitive answer, and I know I'm gonna have to cram and listen to some more, listen to the albums that I listened to this year, and maybe some other ones. But I felt like this one's got to be amongst my favorites this year. So, very cool, very cool, and obviously a little upset. I could have seen VVZ the day that we saw Daniel King, but unfortunately he didn't play, and we didn't have enough time to get to Philly and purchase tickets. So I hope their show went well in Philly. I saw them probably about 6 months ago, if not a little longer, and they were phenomenal. So we'll have to see them next time they're around. But anyway, we're going to keep it moving. The next one on this release is Hands Off My Heart. So let's check it out. Also, Kala and Sally, you'll have to let me know your favorites are off this release. Or anyone else, for that matter. Ooh, wow. That is a crazy falsetto tone. Nice. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, very nice. All right, that was Hands Off My Heart. I enjoyed this. It was very I it was very interesting. Like very smooth. I feel like the production on this has been very interesting in a good way. I like that this one kind of has more of like, best adjective I feel like I could use to describe this song is like, it's a little glossy. I really liked like the synth choice. Their voices kind of have like this, I don't know, they just have like this smoothness about them that I really appreciate, and like maybe more of like a softer like vocal palette on this one. Which is, I feel like, a strange comment to make about their vocal tone, but like it doesn't feel very like, it feels very minimal effort, and I appreciate that, because like the softness of their vocal palette I think extends really well into like this song. It's not like a little bit more high energy. Like I feel like La La Love Me has like had some moments where it was like, okay, I really want them to kind of push vocally. I felt like this one was like a little bit more chill, a little bit more vibey, and so I appreciate that. Um So I really enjoyed this one a lot. I will absolutely go give this one another listen. I was kind of expecting like, I don't know, like I think at some points like I feel like VVZ kind of like commits like half parts of my brain where I'm like half I'm like, wow, they really do the subtle things really well, and then some parts I'm like, wow, I feel like they could, like I feel like vocally I love when they push too. So it's like I feel a little conflicted about this song in some ways where I'm like I appreciate kind of like the more softer tonality of this one, but I'm also like, wow, there was definitely some moments where like they popped off and I was like, I kind of wish they popped off like a smidge more, you know, like I feel like they were almost like being a little bit reserved about it. But yeah, overall I enjoyed it. I feel like this one was another really like, I feel like this would be I feel like this is the sleeper song on their release in my opinion so far. But I really enjoyed this. This was another really fantastic one. So I feel like I feel like we're 2 for 2. So I'm about it. I'm about it. Cal says, probably Hypnotic, but they're all great. Okay, very nice. Sally says, my favorite is a tie between Toxic and Unha's solo Milky Way. Ooh, okay, okay. I feel like if I remember correctly, and I feel like my memory serves me right, on this one, Simbi was my bias and is still my bias in VVZ. So I'm excited to listen to her solo song as well. So that's cool. We're gonna be slowly migrating to that one. The next one we have is Citrus. So let's check it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 뜨거워진 숨 짧아진 그림자 어김없이 불어온 건 달콤한 레몬 샌드 두 눈을 가려도 새하얗게 쏟아진 태양빛이 자꾸만
Very interesting.
어지럽게 해 이 반짝임은 꽃같이 스친 tangerine 가벼워진 마음인데 The following question is why am I still this some days lemon lights and breeze away weather 항상 내 계절에 가득한데 but not just to stay lemon lights and breeze away
The production on this is interesting.
초록잎 사이 드리워진 그림자 점점 내게로 다가와 다시 또 불어오는 바람 선명해진 하늘빛 어쩌면은 내가 조금 더 아니면 네가 조금만 더 다가와 그랬다면 You'd be just a piece left behind 부서지는 sunlight 여전히 보는 새 어지럽게 해 마치 like you do 살짝 섞인 bitterness 그건 아주 사랑 같아 날 여전히 맴도는 너의 그 향기야 Lemon lights and breeze away 꼭 너를 닮아 이 계절에 가득한데
I really like the texture of this song. Cool. Cool. All right, very cool. That was track 3, Citrus, from VVZ's first album, a montage of, I would assume a montage of either blank or space. I'm not entirely sure. If you know the actual title, if you know the actual title of the album, let me know. But I thought this was very cool. I think this one I feel like this one kind of ping pongs interestingly, where I think the like really like very interesting, like almost wall of sound sort of synth offers an interesting backdrop to like the way that their vocals are stylized. I think at one section, if I'm not mistaken, they must have pitched down one of the members' vocals because it kind of gives a resonance of one of the members of VVZ. I can't quite figure out which one just because, again, they probably pitched the vocals down. But I liked that it kind of had that cool, like, ominous sort of sound to it, weirdly enough. But I think this kind of plays with like major and minor keys very interestingly. Like there was definitely some parts in like the verses where I was like, this definitely has more of a like minor key to it. And then I think in the chorus, I feel like there's a lot more major key tones of it. So I think that kind of counterbalance of like sounds I thought was very interesting. I think it's difficult to walk that line, but I think they did a really good job of doing that. I don't know if that's maybe a play on like the song being named Citrus, because I feel like you can have some citruses that are like a little bit more sweet. You know, you're thinking like an orange or like a tangerine or something, and then you also have like citruses that are like more sour and a little bit more abrasive, like, you know, a lemon or a lime or even a grapefruit. Weird analogy, but I feel like the song kind of mashes those two things very well, of like the sweet and the sour. So I thought that was very cool. It's a very tongue-in-cheek sort of like production style, and I didn't really pick up on it, but I started to notice some things about it. I was like, it feels very intentional that they would name the song Citrus, and that it kind of plays from both major and minor keys. So maybe I'm reading into it a little bit much, a little bit too much, but I thought it was cool. I enjoyed it. So I think this one was one of my favorites, weirdly enough. But I forget which member does mostly like the higher tonalities. I want to say it's Umji, but I'm not 100% sure. But man, there's some really high falsetto in this song, which was nuts. So I definitely vibed with this one, weirdly enough. Noah Santa says this is the deep commentary we showed up for. Hey, listen, I have to wield in some of my culinary information in my brain. It's got to go somewhere, you know. So I feel like sometimes it has to end up here, which is, I'll take it. So. All right. Well, we're keeping it moving. The next one is Sticker. I'm curious if this will replace my other favorite song named Sticker. So let's check it out. Okay. I'm already taking this a ton. Those ensemble vocals are killing it. Oh, that bass tone is awesome. Nice.
줬다가 뗐다가 왔다 갔다 Sticker, sticker 또 줬다가 뗐다 You're only a sticker, sticker 이제와 사랑했다 거짓말 Quicker, bigger You gotta realize and see Trying to save my heart from you 똑같이 돌려줄 뿐 Sorry but this love is like a sticker, sticker Try hard to me while lost 붙일 수 없어 이젠 Sorry but this love is like a sticker, sticker
All right, very nice. This was VVZ Sticker. If you're hanging out, thank you for hanging. I love this one. This one is probably going to be one of my favorites. 100%. I feel it in the bones. This was so cool. It kind of was giving me, and I obviously had to pull it up on my phone for reference. This reminded me in the same vein of another girl group, Purple Kiss. It kind of reminded me a little bit of like Sweet Juice, which I love that song. Shout outs to Purple Kiss. But I felt like it was kind of, I feel like they're very sisterly type songs, and I like that, tonality wise. Definitely not what I feel like I would typically associate VVZ with. But I really loved the tonality of this. Definitely a lot of like minor key tones. I love like there's like little bits of like organ mixed in, which kind of give that ominous sort of the vibe. But I definitely appreciate this one a lot. I was really vibing out with this one. And I think their vocals are really so like intricate, and I love like the like falsetto tones, like their head voice. I feel like all of them have really great voices, and I appreciate kind of like that ensemble vocal in the chorus a ton. I thought that was a cool kind of contrast as well, but texturally I feel like this one was definitely up my lane. But I appreciate this one a lot. So I don't know, maybe I'm just, it's okay. People like it, people didn't like it or not didn't like it, but I feel like maybe it's not for them. Biscuit says, I really like that one. I agree. That's answer rip to Purple Kiss. Salutes. Love those ladies. Connie says, nice song, but not sure if I like the chorus. I prefer the other sticker. No one I get. I do. That's true. Uni says, I'm with you on that, Connie. I feel conflicted. How much I love, how much I love Sticker by NCT. That's like top tier songs for me. I'm just kidding. And no offense to NCT fans. I don't want to come off as sarcastic. It was a little sarcastic, but I do enjoy Sticker. But I felt like this one was a little bit more up my alley, but I do appreciate both. I feel like if I had to choose, I would probably choose this one, but definitely like this one a lot. This was great. This one will probably be on my top for sure. So, all right. Connie says you really need to see Sticker live. It's life changing. I promise. We will have to do it on a chaos stream. I will definitely have to check it out for sure. So I'll have to see if that converts me into a Sticker lover, which I feel like I am to some degree. I love this Sticker, so it's only a matter of time. But let's move into Toxic. That is the next one, not to be confused with Britney Spears' Toxic, which is also a banger song. So Gangi says this is the better Sticker. Listen, to each their own. But let's get into Toxic. Now, would this be better than Britney Spears' Toxic? Okay. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. I feel like I'm floating right now.
널 파고드는 직감 끝도 없이 내게 deep dive 작은 손짓도 거대한 파도같이 You wanna feel this love 네 맘에 feeling when you are with me 네 모든 기준들을 바꿔 flowing freely 너를 전부 삼켜봐 You 위험하다고 멈출 수 없지만 You're the way 선명한 everywhere 모든 걸 잊게 해 그 눈 속에 담긴 view Just tell me how you want you
Yo, the bass player is cooking on this song. Holy shit. Let's go.
Come follow me, I want you. 내게 이끌어. So bright it shines, I'm glowing now. 넌 아직 저랬던 feeling. I read your mind. I come through you. 속을 유영해. It's different addiction. 독처럼 퍼지는 순간. Oh, can you keep up? Can you really be mine? Just tell me I want you. Want to step it up. Step it, step it, step it, step it up. Come tell me I want you. 내게 이끌어. So bright it shines, I'm glowing now. 넌 아직 저랬던 feeling. Rock you, 빠져들어 깊이. Toxic, I'm not toxic, girl. Take you, 헤어날 수 없이. Toxic, I'm not toxic, girl. Rock you, 네 작은 본능까지. Toxic, I'm not toxic, girl. Take you, you're really looking toxic, I'm not toxic, girl.
Wow. All right. Very cool. This was Toxic by VVZ off their album A Montage of, I'm just going to say Space. That's my thing. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments or in chat. But I enjoyed this one a lot. I would also put this amongst my favorites as well. I believe both Kala and Sally said that this was one of their favorites as well. So impeccable taste. Wow, this was so cool. I felt like structurally the song was great. Like it almost feels like, I know I made the joke about like floating, but truly I feel like the structure of the song, like a lot of like the more like reverb drenched stylization was really fun. That bass on the song was absolutely cooking. Shout outs to whoever did the bass on the song, and they did a wonderful job. But I feel like their vocals kind of transcended the song, and I really appreciate that because they are all really good singers. But I felt like with this one, they were able to kind of like take, each one of them was able to take like different moments in the song to kind of make it their own, and I love that. I feel like that sometimes can go away a little bit, and I would argue with just having three members in their group. I do feel like you get a lot more spotlight, you get a lot of moments to shine, and I felt like this one was very well represented between all three of them. I will say, like, stylistically, this kind of gives me a lot more like tonalities of more modern girls groups. Like I feel like, you know, like I'm talking like either fourth or fifth gen in terms of like stylization. And I think they do a great job. Like that was kind of my first thought, was like it kind of like, especially like maybe more so the texture kind of gives me a lot of like New Jeans flavor to it, which is not a bad thing. I love New Jeans, but I felt like stylistically I was like, wow, this kind of feels like a newer group, like, you know, newer girls group. So I feel like they've got good mixes where I feel like a lot of their stuff is grounded in the generation that they're a part of, but I also feel like stylistically they're not afraid to tackle some of like the newer girls group sounds as well too. So that was very cool. I definitely feel like this was a top runner for sure on the album. So very cool. We're going to move on to the next one, which is Hypnotic. I believe that Kala mentioned that this is their favorite, so we're going to check it out. And this is Sinbi's solo song, so let's give it a listen.
Hypnotic how I move,
Whoa.
눈을 뗄 수 없지 do what I do. So iconic 통제를 잃은 듯. Snap my fingers after you. Hypnotic how I move,
Okay.
Supersonic got your heart beating boom. 순식간에 전부 휩쓸려 넌. Snap my fingers after you. Rubic energy supernaturally 날 거스릴 수 없는 flow 뭔가 다른 듯한 classic perfect synergy 부정할 수조차 없이 내게 빠져드는 step I can't picture in a haze no way like gravity 거부해도 falling deep in a command 모든 걸 내려놔 you can't stop the way you feel it hip hypnotic how I move 눈을 뗄 수 없지 do what I do so iconic 통제들 이런 듯 snap my fingers I've got you hip hypnotic how I move supersonic got your heart beating boom 순식간에 전부 휩쓸려 넣어 snap my fingers I've got you 오직 나를 위해
I love that synth, that arpeggio synth, that's cool.
좀비처럼 oh my under my controller 빠져들어 rest on keep on 이성은 다 지워 be true 황홀한 addiction 계속 내게 갇혀 I'ma make your ears pop hypnotic ass no way 내 손짓이 나의 마음 끝까지 해지마 나 위험해지 마 you can't fight the way you feel it hip hypnotic how I move 눈을 뗄 수 없지 do what I do so iconic 통제들 이런 듯 snap my fingers I've got you hip hypnotic how I move supersonic got your heart beating boom 순식간에 전부 휩쓸려 넣어 snap my fingers I've got you la 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 snap my fingers I've got you la 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 snap my fingers I've got you
All right. Snaps for Simbi. This was hypnotic. I feel like that's the perfect. I feel like that's the song titles have been on point tonight. I gotta give him credit. This one is definitely hypnotic in a good way. I'll still stand by my statement of Simbi being my bias because I felt like she absolutely crushed it on this song. Her rapping tone is so much fun. I feel like, obviously in VVZ, it's not as much. I feel like in terms of their music, they focus more on her vocal tone, which is great. I think she's a great vocalist, obviously. But it was cool hearing the kind of contrast, and I think that was like the magic behind the song. Obviously, there's a lot of other elements of it as well, but I felt like, man, like the vocals in this song were like hauntingly beautiful, like very, very, again, minor keys, but like used super well. I loved a lot of the like stylistic production choices in this song, like that kind of like 808 trap beat sort of backing the song. I think that was so much fun, and I think it keeps it really like energetic, really fun. I also loved a lot of like the synth choices, that like kind of like synth run. And I don't know if it's I guess it would technically be the pre-chorus of the song. Is so cool. I definitely love that section of the song. And obviously like Simbi's like kind of like higher, like grandiose sort of like vocal tone, I thought was just so nice in this song. But yeah, this one has like a bunch of different layers to it that I think make it very interesting. And like it was cool to see all of the talents highlighted super well in this one. So this is a fire song. I definitely would put this amongst my favorites. Probably a little bit biased because Simbi is my bias, but I felt like this one was just like an extremely well written song, and she crushed it. So 10 out of 10. Enjoyed this one. Connie says, okay, I like this one. Very nice, very nice. All right, we're gonna keep it moving. Track 7, this is Love Language, and this is Unji's solo. So let's check it out. It's the highest one out of the 3 solos, so I'm excited. Let's give it a listen. Okay. Oh, okay.
how to speak my language, left language. I wanna hold what your silence conveys. Feel all your intensity.
Wow.
Stronger than all thousand words. Oh no. 혼란스레 나를 감싸던 질문들에 맞출 정답을 내리듯이 내 속을 파고든 너. Baby, you're the one I hate to see. I could get you right from A to Z. Come a little closer and I'll show you what I need. Baby, there's nothing you should say. It's better when our eyes communicate. We don't gotta get lost in translation. I can show you how to speak my language. Show you how to speak my
That little
language.
guitar riff. Matching the vocals, cool.
Don't you get it? You are the reason. 'Cause I can't help myself. I need when you need me. I can't deny it. Let's keep it sacred, baby. Baby, we are something worth you say. Living in a rhythm that's so deep. Come a little closer and I'll show you what it takes. Baby, there's nothing in our way. Together we will let the moment stay. We don't gotta get lost in this motion. I can show you how to speak my language. 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 Left language.
All right, very cool. That was track 7 from VVZ's newest album, A Montage of Space. And this was Unji's solo. I enjoyed this a lot. I feel like this borrows, I don't know, I feel like it borrows heavily from like 90s pop R&B, maybe like early 2000s R&B / pop as well. I think it has a lot to do with like kind of the chord structure. It feels very like especially that da 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 da. I feel like I heard that a lot in the like a 90s sound, which is fine. I feel like 90s sounds have kind of made a little bit of a resurgence, if not a pretty large resurgence. So I appreciate that. I remember Unji's voice to be really good, and I felt like this one maybe exceeded my expectations. But I really liked it. I think she's a fantastic singer. I feel like I gravitate towards Simbi, but Unji in this song was really, really good. I appreciated like a lot of her vocal riffs. She's got some really good, like, she had like little pops of like vocal riffing that I was like, I kind of sat back and I was like, damn, that one was a little crazy. Like, and it feels so subtle, but like it worked well in this song. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one a lot. I can understand why it would be one of the more streamed solo songs, just because I think it's really well written. But I also feel like it accentuates a lot of what I think Unji does well, which is like those riffs that kind of like, she has like a very soft vocal palette, and I feel like that kind of plays into this song's favor, where I think dynamically, like, she kind of takes off the latter half of like the scale, where like I feel like a lot more of the like trebly sort of sounds in the song are obviously taken up by Unji, and then like that little bit of like bass rhythm hits in the song I feel like have a lot more momentum in the song, just because, you know, I think there's a lot more, she's doing a lot more of that mid to high range tone, and the song is kind of playing a little bit more to the lower end. So I like that. Very solid. Enjoyed this a bunch. So Connie said this is my fave so far. Very nice. No Santa says sounded like a lot like a Backstreet Boys or NSYNC sound. That's what I was trying to think of. I also maybe got like, I don't know, there's definitely some other like female pop artists that I'm thinking of, and I like can't think of it off the top of my head right now, but it definitely was given, I was gonna say definitely Backstreet Boys NSYNC vibes, which is again, as a 90s kid, I can appreciate. But yeah, there's definitely something else, like female vocally wise, that I was like, ooh, she's drawing some inspiration from. But either way, fantastic song. Definitely enjoyed this one a ton too. So we're gonna move it on. We've got two more. The next one is Milky Way by Unha, and this is her solo song. So let's check it out. And Sally's favorite. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. Is this city pop? Little city pop vibes? Okay. That arpeggiating section too. Nice. Wow. This bass is cooking too. Wow. What is with jazz tonight? Wow. Awesome. Okay. This jazz shuffle kills me. It's so good. Oh, wow. Oh man, that's so cool. Oh, sorry, Jess. Not you. I swear. All right, very cool. This was Unha's Milky Way off of Viviz's newest album. Just as I was away from the screen, all of a sudden I heard "What is with Jazz tonight?" and was like, "What did I do?" Listen, I would never speak ill about you, Jazz. So I just meant like jazz tone. I should be more specific because I feel like there's some people in chat that have names that are close, and like in terms of like if I make a commentary about something, so I should be more specific. Jazz the music, not jazz in chat. But this was very sick. I can understand why this was one of Sally's favorites. This is a bop. This is a banger for sure. I feel like you could not go wrong with any three of the solo songs. In my honest opinion, they were all really good. Man, I love this one. This was great. That like jazz break section was so much fun, and like I couldn't help but laugh. But because I was just like, damn, like why did they? I was like, why somebody must have like put an omen on this like live stream, because there's been so much like jazz music going on, but it's great. I really enjoyed this a lot. Una's vocals are so good. I feel like VVZ as a collective has like a really high threshold for like great musical tone. I feel like all of their voices sit really well together, and I think as a trio they do honestly, I think they're probably one of my favorite girls groups as a collective, just because I think their vocals sit so well together. But this is great. I think like it plays to a little bit more of Eunha's like higher tonality. She's got like again that like really high like textural sort of sound to her voice, and I love that she gets to highlight it more in this one. But the sweet tones came out on this one, and I definitely appreciate that a lot. I don't know. I think out of the solo stuff, that's tough. But I honestly liked all of them. I don't think I think it would be very difficult for me to pick a favorite. I feel like Sin B might get the slight edge to both Eunha and Eunji only because she's my bias. But I genuinely feel like you could not go wrong with either one. If you liked all three, like myself, then all the power to you. But Jess says no, you're fine. It was funny. That's true. Gungi says no, it makes it more fun when you make it confused. Oh no, listen, we do not make things more confusing. I'm easily confused as it is, so I feel like making it more confusing is just gonna make the difficulty level higher. And he said at least he didn't accidentally ban you. Listen, I'll never be able to say enough apologies to Kaylee. So again, sorry Kaylee for doing that. But we are moving on to the last one. That would be unhinged. I feel like I would be a tyrant at that point. But we are moving on. The next one we are checking out is the final one. This is Wildflower to close out this album. So let's check it out. We wouldn't stream if I got banned. So it'd just be a giant X on the screen. Y'all are just trying to stir up the trouble tonight. I expect nothing less. Listen, if he had the cognitive awareness to ban people, he might. Ooh.
피어나는 예쁜 정원 날 꽃으로 차갑게 내린 비와 겨울을 견뎌온 걸 흠뻑 쏟아지는 이 눈빛에 흔들리지 않고 단단하게 난 매일 더 자라나 하루 또 하루 손을 한 조각이 스민 바람이 내 어깨에 머물 때 유난히 느려진 네 발걸음이 멈춰 서는 순간 네 두 발 아래 널 기다려
Love a lot of the usage of seventh chords. So nice.
분명히 알게 될 거야 순간 잠시 세상이 멈춰 공기가 번져 내밀어준 너의 손에 한 입 두 입 나의 맘이 눈을 뜬 순간 다시 현실이어도 우린 기억하겠지 왠지 어디서 본 것 같은 wildflower 서로를 닮은 미소가 특히 피어나는 너나
Great bridge. Wow.
그림 같은 계절에 날 담아보면 다시 세상이 멈춰 전부 꿈처럼 멋져 마주 잡은 우리 손에 한 입 두 입 날린 건네 멀리 돌아올 때도 결국 만나게 될걸 함께 이
what a great. We've been the closing tracks on these past couple albums that we've listened to tonight so far have been great. I'm hoping to continue that streak of great closing songs. But this was Wildflower from VVZ's latest album, first album, montage of Space. Hopefully that is correct. This was wonderful. I think this was, as I mentioned before, great closing song. I feel like closing songs are always very interesting to me. It's either like kind of a continuation of what they've done, but I feel like this is almost a like celebration of how good their vocals are. Like there's just so many great moments where like you get to hear them like pop off, and I feel like the instrumentation at first was like so cool, and I think like the arrangement's really great. A lot of like major seventh chords, which is used typically in jazz music. So I really like that a ton. And I think like the production of it was great, like the drumming, the guitar work, the bass playing, a lot of the piano work as well too was incredible. But I also feel like their vocals just kind of sit well in the song too. Like there's definitely moments where like each one of them I could hear like, you know, Unha pop off at one point, and like Unji kind of popped off a little bit, and then Simbi also did a little bit of running as well. But I feel like they all mix super well together, and like they definitely had some great ensemble moments, but I think also individually was great too. And I think just kind of the structure of the song just really worked well with their vibe. And by the end, like that final chorus was just so good. And I feel like they kind of like took all the best elements of their vocals and kind of threw it towards the end of the song. So I definitely appreciate that a lot. But yeah, great track. I think some of my favorites off this, I would say Wildflower for sure is definitely on that list. I feel like the solos were also great. I also really liked I feel like 4 through 9 were like top. Surprise, I mean genuinely I feel like you couldn't go wrong with any of the songs in this release. I would say this one's like a pretty much front to back great release. But I definitely would say like it got so good towards like the latter half of this album. I was like, damn, like even if you went from like Toxic to Wildflower, great sets of songs there. So I think this is gonna be spinned way more. Thank you to both Kala as well as Sally for giving their recommendation or the push to recommend this one to listen to, because definitely enjoyed this one a lot. I'll have to do my homework and listen to this again a little bit more. So Jazz says this is my favorite, mentioning Wildflower. Uni says I can never get enough of their light and airy vocals. I would agree. And Connie says it's an 8.5 for me. Oh, okay, very nice. All right. I feel like I want to save 10 Black for last, only because they're Japanese, and if I'm gonna cut anything from not from the stream, but if I was to cut anything from the release, I feel like the Japanese stuff needs to stay towards the end. So I don't want to forget about Jugunki. I know you asked me to do it, so I'll oblige. I feel like the next one we should do is we're gonna keep it moving. N.Flying Everlasting is the album we're doing. And I believe we are doing 10 Black last, I believe. So we will cover that one to close it out. But let's check it out. Songbird is to start. So let's give it a listen. Oh, nice, Biscuit. Let's go.
Don't be afraid of mistakes. Tell me what you think. 누굴 위한 삶일까? The sun has rise on you. 해가 뜨면 굳은 날개 펼쳐 자유롭게 날아올라 더 새롭게 만나게 돼.
They've got a great instrumental tone. I love it. It's so good already. Damn.
Always be with me, always be with you, the same. 들리니? This is 마지막한 소리가 마음을 몇 번이고 담고서 불러 내게 닿을 곳에 자유롭게 날아올라 또 새롭게 만나게 될 거야. Another place you bring me out, don't bring me down. 조금은 두려워도 널 위한 멜로디 it never ends. 어디까지라도 carry on. Spread my wings right on the wind. 너를 위해 노래하는 새.
Ooh, the strings in this are so cool.
날아가는 거야 go away. 눈이 부신 하늘 넘어.
I like how it pans to the left. Interesting.
Don't let me down. 아직은 두려워도 변하지 않는 꿈. That's everything. 우리 함께라고 난 믿어. No one can stop to overflow. Here we go. 아득한 곳에 감춰진 길. 우리들만의 빛 out of space. You bring me up. Let's go with me. 더는 두렵지 않아. 널 위한 멜로디 it never ends. 끝나지 않아. Never fade out. A once more game is more than words. 울려 퍼지는 노래 속에.
Oh, so sick. All right, very cool. This was Songbird off of N.Flying's latest album, Everlasting. Very cool. Phenomenal way to start off the release. I think this has got such a strong vocal, strong everything. Like the instrumentation is so much fun. I've said this many times in terms of like when we cover K bands, but I feel like there's just a resurgence in my body when I listen to a K band. There's just something special about it, and I love it. The chorus in the song is so catchy. But I feel like this one just feels very like triumphant in a really like gorgeous way. Like I think the way that it hit I think the way that the vocals sit in the song are just really cool. I think production wise, I think there's a lot of cool things going on that I appreciate. Like the drumming sounds phenomenal. Like the drummer's tone that they used was awesome. Like whatever kit he was using in this album is just sounds great. As well as that, I think like just the guitar tones in this are great. Like I love like that do 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 like that like guitar melody. It kind of almost feels like a secondary sort of voice to the track, which I appreciate a ton. And then as I mentioned before, just kind of like the string section was incredible in this track as well. But it just feels very full. I feel like dynamically it just is incredible. I've really loved our deep dive of N.Flying when we did it. I still love a lot of their music. So it was cool to kind of revisit an album. I don't believe that I've really delved into an N.Flying album, so definitely fun to re-listen to this one. I don't think I actually had listened to this one because it looks like chat's telling me this is a Japanese version, so I don't believe we covered this one, so it was cool. I'll have to check out. Obviously, the Japanese one would probably sound practically similar, other than the fact that they're speaking Japanese versus Korean, but still, song wise, great. I feel like they've mastered they've mastered the arts of Japanese songs versus and Korean songs, in my opinion. So Aganki says, such a great song, both versions and the original Japanese version. Kaylee says Songbird was on their 2019 Japanese album. Connie says, I love them so much. Kala says, love this one. Everybody was enjoying the album. So very nice. Biscuit says, I have a bunch of these playlisted. So cool stuff. All right. Without further ado, we're moving into the title song, Everlasting. So let's give it a listen. I remember this one. This is the one where they were like in the field and like that random barn. I remember this MV. Yep, I remember this. This is good.
놓치지 않을게 얼마나 걸려도 난 괜찮아 아침에와 같이 뜬 달처럼 소중한 몇 번 없는 순간일까 아니야 무서웠던 하루였어 눈보라처럼 도착한 나의 품을 대우며 괜찮아 잠시뿐일 감기처럼 별이 나는 거야 그제서야 녹을 거야 너를 위해 할 수 있는 일이 내게 있다면 몇 번의 계절이 지나도 변하지 않는 것처럼 꽃처럼 너는 본 적 없는 진정한 행복을 주고 싶어 너의 작은 웃음도 놓치지 않을게 별은 매번 뜨지 않으니까 너의 점과 나의 점을 이어나가서 새로운 별자리가 되자 오늘은 무서웠던 소리를 만나 도망을 쳤어 도착한 나의 품을 대우며 괜찮아 잠시뿐일 감기처럼 다 지나갈 거야 그제서야 녹을 거야 너를 위해 할 수 있는 일이 내게 있다면 몇 번의 계절이 지나도 변하지 않는 것처럼 꽃처럼 너는 본 적 없는 진정한 행복을 주고 싶어 함께 눈보라를 맞춰보고 더 멀리 도망도 쳐보자 하나도 무섭지 않아 곁에 있으니까 하얀 눈 속에 피어난 작은 꽃들처럼 소중한 행복이 되어줄 너를 위해 할 수 있는
Bridge kills me every time. So good.
몇 번의 계절이 지나도 변하지 않는 것처럼 꽃처럼 너는 본 적 없는 진정한 행복을 주고 싶어 소중한 행복이 되고 싶어 항상 네 맘에 변함없는 나로 살고 싶어 만년이라는 시간이 전부 색가도록 하나씩 하나씩 더 쌓아나가자 소중한
Very nice. All right. This was N.Flying's Everlasting from the album of the same name. Very nice. Gungi says that this is still one of their favorite songs of this year. Very nice. And I did guess correctly on the MV. Very nice. My memory is on point tonight. Gungi says N.Flying sounds amazing with my new speakers. I find it in this is not to call Gungi out, but I saw Gungi post about their like speakers in Discord, and I was like, this person is watching me on their TV. That is that is wild. I respect the love, but I thought this was great. Again, listening to it for the second time, as I mentioned about VVZ, I feel like sometimes I don't always get around to listening to releases, and I think it's cool to me that I'll often go back to a lot of like the title tracks and maybe even the full albums, like when I go through and listen to albums at the end of the year. But I feel like for me, like this is such a really well written song. Like there's something about it that just, I think, especially in the chorus, and I'm may have not again heard me just humming along or singing along to the chorus of the song, but I thought it was very interesting to me, like just because I think their melody choice and like the way that they go about writing is so like concise, and I think that just you know, I just love that there's just so much good like melody choice in their songs. Like I think they really fixate on writing good hooks and writing good melody, and I think that shines really brightly in a song like this, where I don't feel like the song is like overly crazy like Songbird. I feel like Songbird, obviously being a Japanese song and as well as like the Korean version on this album, I feel like the production, like the song seems a little bit like over the top in a good way. I think that this one really, I feel like Everlasting really rests on the morals of, if the songwriting's good, like the song is still going to be a great song. And I feel like this is very much the case in that aspect. I really, again, love the tonality of what they're going for in this song. I think vocally, this is just still one of my favorites. I still feel very strongly about this track. I will say, like, in terms of vocals from Sunhi, I feel like he's incredible. And you know, I think he really shines super well in the song, obviously, along with some of the other members of N.Flying. The bridge I really enjoyed about the song, but I do feel like the main selling point of this track is definitely the chorus. So very cool. Cool to listen to again. I'm glad I'm finally getting through and listening to the album as a collective, but really enjoyed this one a ton. So Gungi says, I'm watching the Chargers Raiders football game on my tablet and watching your stream on my... I know, I was just giving you a little grief. It was very funny. I was just like, I was like, wow, the speakers, the TV speakers, that makes sense. Now, like, I'm on. It's just hilarious to me. I appreciate it. Kaylee says, makes you feel better. You're not on my TV in my dorm room, just my laptop. You know, listen, however y'all choose to watch the show, I appreciate it. So we're going to keep it moving. The next one is Rise Again. So let's check it out. Yes, I get Monitor 3. Let's go. I love being relegated to Monitor 3. 소중한 promise 세상이 무너질 때 편하게 해주어 고쳐질 수 없는 벽 노래는 처방전도 잠시 보낼 걸 알아 괜찮아질 거였다 우리는 서로 미워마요. Like the Tom section. Very cool. Ooh. Yeah, this is one of my favorites.
세상에서 제일 특별했던 어제는 없어 이젠 내 세상이 없어졌어 오늘부로 내일을 마주할 너와 난 없어 우리는 서로 미워마요 이별도 보고 둘이서 걸어갔더니
Thank you, Kaylee.
내 발자국만 남아 어제의 너와 사랑하고 오늘의 나와 이별하면 내일의 우릴 마주하긴 싫어 어쩌겠어
Ooh,
이제부터
somebody's hitting the higher tones. I love it. Let's go. Probably play some.
사랑을 마주하고 다름을 받아들이고 이별에 저항하고 상처를 극복하리라 어제의 너와 사랑하고 오늘의 나와 이별하면 내일의 우릴 마주하긴 싫어 어쩌겠어 이제부터 I will rise again I will rise again
Great harmonies. Wow. Little lead too. Wow. All right. That was incredible. This was Rise Again from N.Flying. I'm not going to lie. I saw Jazz said this one is even better live, and I'm not going to lie. I got a little jealous. I like the jello just bone in my body came out and was like, listen, I'm a little upset, but I'm sure I'll see N.Flying, so I'm not too upset, but this was fantastic. I feel like, yeah, this definitely feels like one of those songs. I'm glad that they performed this one live, because that was my first thought, was like, wow, this one probably sounds incredible live. But man, this is so much fun. There's so much energy in this song, like not only I think vocally, but like instrumentally wise, it just has a different energy. It's like definitely more on that sort of rock side of things, which I appreciate. I love the beginning. Jaehyun's like more of like the tom setting at the beginning. I think that's so much fun. And then the way that he collects the song in that pre-chorus, I think was great. The guitar work was also really good too. I really, really enjoyed there's like some really great lead lines, and I know Hyun does like a lot of the great like guitar work, but there's like a little bit of lead work which I don't want to say I was surprised about, but just like fits so well. I kind of wished it was a little bit higher. Like there are some really great vocals from both Sunhi as well as Hwaesung, but I honestly wish that the lead line was like I if there was one critique I have, I really wish that the lead line was like punched up a smidge more, just so I could hear it. Like I could hear it, but definitely was expecting it to pop a little bit more. But otherwise, one of my favorites. I feel like this one is definitely going to be a hard one to beat on the album, though I feel like we've got some good ones coming up. So I'm not surprised, but let's see. Everybody was enjoying this one of their favorites. Connie says, I love this one. Very nice. Let's see. Gunky says this is also one of their favorites. Same with Biscuit. Love when the sub hits in this song. Yeah, the sub was incredible. Gunky says, I'm just going to throw this out there. I love almost every song on this album. Only 2 songs are not on my playlist. Oh, wow. Okay, that is some high marks for you. So I wouldn't disagree so far. Jazz says, the crazy thing is I almost couldn't go because I already had tickets for a different artist by the time they announced dates. So I had to resell the other one and buy tickets for them. Hey, well, look, it worked out. Got to see N.Flying. I'm curious the other artists that you didn't wind up going to. Not like obviously no diss, but I'd be curious to see the. I feel like and this is maybe goes into a little bit of a tangent. I'll take a tiny detour here. I feel like chat's like musical, like wow. I feel like most of chat has a good well-roundedness in terms of their like musical choices. I've been pleasantly surprised with chat in terms of their recommendations. Some I'm like, okay, this fits the nail on the head, and there's some that I'm like, wow, I would have never expected that. So very interesting. Jazz says Kevin Carl. He's a Mexican artist. Ooh, okay. Well, I'll have to check out some of his stuff. I'd be very curious. So if you have any song recommendations, drop them in Discord. I'll give it a listen in my free time. So anyway, we're keeping it moving. Tonight we are moving on to Love You Like That. Very nice. Gunky says, I love the guitar riff in this next song. And Kaylee says, what did you expect me to give you Taekwondo K-pop after showing it? That was, if there was any neck break moment in my career doing this, that's got to be up there for sure. That was definitely not the two sides of the same coin on that one, but I was pleasantly surprised with both. So anyway, Love You Like That is next. Let's check it out. Already enjoying this already. Ooh. A lot of octaves. Very interesting. Ooh. Harmonics. Nice. I gotta get rid of you, Gunky. This reference is pretty sick. Ooh, the panning. Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. All right. This was Love You Like That from N.Flying. Very nice. Wow. This was a little bit to unpack, and I'm about it. I will agree with Gunky's comment. The guitar work was exceptional in this. Hyun is incredible. I really like that main guitar riff was really fun. But there's also some like really cool like subtle things that he did throughout the song that I was like, damn, like not that I didn't think he was a good guitar player, but I was like, okay. The like minor flexes in this song were really cool. Like some aspects of the song I really liked. There was a lot of cool like hammer-ons, pull-offs in this song that I really appreciate. There's a lot of use of like octaves as well, which I won't say that I don't hear often, but I hear it more so in like the rock and like metal space. And I thought that was really cool. I definitely appreciate that a lot, and obviously it shows off a lot of his skill. There's a lot of cool like subtle moments guitar wise that I also appreciate. There is some cool like harmonics. I don't know if he's doing like the 7 like natural harmonics. It kind of sounds like that, not like a pinch harmonic. But I thought it was really, really cool. And I also got to give a shout out to Sunhi. His piano work was incredible in the song. Very like I don't know, it's kind of got given like a little bit of a Spanish sort of feel. Same with the guitar work as well. I really like that stylization. Again, a lot of minor 7th chords. I felt like this one definitely kind of played more towards that side, like minor chords mixed with minor 7s. Really fun stuff. And then also unsung hero, in my opinion, I feel like Dong Sung did incredible. There's a lot of great bass riffs in this song that I feel like maybe wouldn't go without mentioning, but the bass work in this was awesome. There's definitely some like low end riffing that I appreciate, and I think it kind of counteracts like the guitar work in a really nice way that I noticed not in the first verse, but I noticed it more in the second verse, and I think maybe it was just like amplified a little bit more. But I really like that a lot, and the vocals were nice, but honestly I feel like the instrumentation of this song definitely stood out to me a little bit more than the vocals. And that's not bad. I think both aspects of the song were really good, but I feel like as an instrumentalist enjoyer, I feel like the instrumentals on this song were a banger. I really enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, this is a phenomenal song. Definitely enjoyed this one a lot too. So we're gonna keep it moving. The next one on this album is Love in Memory. So let's check it out. Already big anthemic vibes. Am I right?
참 길었던 우리 둘 눈 감고도 그렸던 너의 얼굴 이젠 점점 희미해지지만 이별은 못해준 기억만 남기는데 아니었죠. 서로만 간직했던 우리 성숙하지 못한 이별이 생각나면 웃게 되네. 난 하나 둘씩 그대가 잊혀져가요. 단 한 번뿐인 내 세계 아름다운 계절들의
Great melody choice there. Wow. Great chorus. So good.
Can't let you go, can't let you go. 또 새로운 시작은 우리 같지 않다는 걸 알고 있죠. 돌아갈 수 없는 서로만 간직했던 우리 성숙하지 못한 이별이 생각나면 웃게 되는 일. 난 하나 둘씩 그대가 잊혀져가요. 단 한 번뿐인 내 세계 아름다운 없이 그대와 새어보았던 그 기억들이 사라질 것 두려웠죠. 괜찮아 미소를 잃지 않았던 내 마지막 기억 속 그댈 잊죠. 사랑한 기억만 남기고 그댈 잊죠. 사랑한
Ooh, great falsetto tone. Very nice. All right, this is Love in Memory from N.Flying's latest album, Everlasting. Very nice. Thanks for joining. Gunky says this is the worst song so far for me. To me, excuse me, which is still impressive because I love this song as well. That's a shocker. I feel I feel betrayed somewhat because I'm like normally Gunky is such a fan of like rock ballads, so I'm a little shocked by that. I feel like maybe it might just I again we'll be roughly halfway through the album in the next song, so I'm curious. But uh this is very good. I think for a rock ballad, which I am not surprised that they excel at. Certainly, I think vocally this was again another really really great one. Wei Sung is incredible. I always like. I don't want to say I forget, but I feel like there's so many artists that we cover here on the show, and I mean, if you're given the fact that we do this twice a week at the minimum for 12 months, there's just so many artists to like delve into and really listen to thoroughly. So I feel like it's always tough for me to be like, oh man, like these are great vocalists, and I not to come across as like pretentious because I listen to so much shit. It's hard to be like, wow, these are great vocals, but I mean genuinely they're so incredible. And I think to me like the thing that I think a lot of K bands sell to me is just like there's a lot of sincerity in the way that I feel like they sing. And that's not to say that I feel like boys groups or co-ed groups or guys groups don't sing with the level of sincerity that I feel like K bands do, but maybe it's just because I have a more fixated bias on just like bands because that's what I've grown up listening to and being a part of, that I feel like maybe more attached to like these types of songs. But I just feel like the when I was listening to this song, it's just like I couldn't help but feel like a lot more of the emotion in the way that both like all of the members in N.Flying sing about. And like I think there's just like this collective of like, wow, like while I maybe don't understand the lyricism fully on this song, it's just like, yeah, I feel like the emotions really shine through in a song like this. So I definitely like this a lot. I think instrumentally this was like really solid. I definitely enjoyed it a lot. I think the bass work, especially in the bridge, was really incredible. Dong Sung is incredible. Shoutouts to him. But I also feel like as well, like guitar work, the bass work, or I just mentioned the bass work, the drumming, the guitar work, the piano work was all really incredible as well. So I don't want to feel like I'm discounting it, but like I think there's something about the song that was just like, man, like just kind of took a hold of me, and I was just kind of trying to immerse myself into the song a little bit more. So definitely would put this amongst my favorites for sure. I love a good rock ballad, but I felt like this one just something spoke to me about the song that I really loved. So and I think again the energy and the emotion of the song just kind of carried this one for me. So definitely like this one a lot, as aforementioned. So Guggy says, I mean, I do love the song. That's it's just funny to me that you would I just think it's funny because typically I'm like, oh yeah, Gunky loves ballads, so I feel like it just I was surprised at this to be lower on the rung for you, but hey, to each their own, certainly. But we're gonna keep it moving. The next one is Still You, so let's keep it schmoovin'. Wouldn't that be the whole album? Huh. I'm just poking fun, Gunky. A little extra tonight. Ooh. Great little like solo section. Nice. All right, this was track 6, Still You from N.Flying off their latest album, Everlasting. If you're hanging, thank you for hanging. I like this one a lot. I would argue this one feels the most different off of the album so far. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch. But I feel like this one feels the most different. Like if I had to, I'm going down the song list, so I feel like I can confidently say halfway through this is the most interesting of the songs so far. I really like that guitar riff. It kind of reminds me, and not 100%, but it reminds me similarly of the guitar riff that is used in John Mayer's Neon. I love that song. That's probably one of my favorite John Mayer songs as a whole, but I love that guitar riff, and that was like my first thought. So I feel like in this instance, definitely moves up the ladder in terms of favorites. The vocals in the song were so passionate. There was something about it that I was just like, damn, like they are singing, like I feel like it's different than like, you like can sing, but I feel like this is singing, there's just something special about it. There's just like extra emphasis. There's emotion to it. And I like that. I feel like that's what drives a lot of my appreciation for some of the songs. It's just like the way that they, sing with such conviction, very similarly to what I mentioned in Love and Memory, but I felt like this one was really cool. I also feel like this one is a little bit more subtle. I think like the instrumentation is really sick in the song. Definitely, like, I feel like there are certain aspects to like N.Flying songs that I've come to know, and I feel like this kind of throws that. I feel like that kind of throws all of my thought processes on what I feel like their song should sound like out the window. It still feels very N.Flying, but like instrumentally, I'm like, did they learn something new? Like what? Like it feels very like chill, very vibey, and I'm about it. So I definitely like this one. I want to give this one another listen again. So I'll probably come back with my full thoughts on this one later on in Discord. But I enjoyed this one a lot. I think this one's got to be amongst my favorites just because I am intrigued by it. I think the instrumentation was really fun. And just feels like very unconventional and flying, but at the same time still carries a lot of characteristics that I feel like when I think of N.Flying, I'm like, okay, this has got like some power vocals from Hui Sung. Like Sunhi sounds also great and like incorporates some like cool piano parts in the song. So I definitely enjoyed this one. I was a little shocked by this one. This one was good. So um some comments. This was wild. I Gunky's comment makes more sense now that I read it. Kaylee said yes, but no. I kind of agreed with it, and then Kaylee followed it up with their comment and said the first songs are like 11 to 10 for me, the middle are like 10 out of 10, and the lighter songs are 13 out of 10. Okay, and everybody seemed to be in agreement on that, which is interesting to me. But I'm also seeing some divergence in the list where I feel like Biscuit and Jazz are maybe a little bit closer together, where they like maybe more of the middle songs. So that it is an. I feel like there's an interesting poll going on with these songs on this album. So interesting. I'm just intrigued overall. So but it seems like everybody enjoyed the full thing. So I feel like that's a high praise certainly. But we're gonna keep it moving. The next one is Happy Me. So let's check it out. Harmonics again. Nice. The acoustic guitar is lit. I'm about it. Ooh, that little jazzy riff. Okay. All right. I see you, Hyun. Ooh. All right. Riffs? Little beatboxing? What? I love like the pinch, the little harmonics at the end. That was cool. All right, this was Happy Me from N.Flying. Very nice. Gunky says this song makes me happy except for the song length. That's fair. It is a 2.5-minute song, a little under. So yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Jazz says gotta love the rare Dong Sung vocals. Yeah, that was cool. I did notice a difference. I was like, this doesn't feel like Sung Hyun or Hui Sung. So I only had one more option to choose from. So very cool. Loved. I feel like I gotta start off the gate with my guy Sung Hyun. The rap on this song was chef's kiss. So good. I loved it. I also got to give a shout outs to. I feel like I've given a lot of shouts to Hun, but I feel like it's justified because I love his guitar work. So I feel like I got to give him the love. But this song, like guitar wise, was really sick. I loved like his usage of acoustic guitar, like again the like natural harmonics. I think some of the riffing on that was really fun. I loved like the like percussive aspect of like his guitar work. I thought that's really cool. And I like that he incorporates it. It doesn't it feels very well adjusted to this type of song. Again, I'll make my gripe, and I don't mean this to be rude to N.Flying, but I'm like, God damn, like I really wish that they give Hyun like a little bit more gain, or at least move his like guitar solo parts up higher, because I'm like, that riff at the end, like his guitar solo bit at the end of the song on the electric guitar was so cool. And I was like, I feel like I missed out on some of it just because it's so set low in the mix. I don't know, maybe because I come from more of a rock and metal background, that I'm like, man, you really need to push like the solo work up higher in the mix. But I genuinely feel like the solo work is so cool and is underrepresented in their music in terms of like production style. I imagine it hits live, and that's what frustrates me a little bit, because I'm like, I imagine these songs, like especially like, again, I know Jazz says they saw Rise Again played live, and I'm like, the leads on this must sound incredible live, because I'm like, it's mixed well. If the leads were higher, then I probably would be like more engrossed in it a little bit more than I already am, and I think it would be represented a little bit better. So that's probably my only like heavy critique, and I would say that collectively for the whole album, I imagine it's probably going to be pretty similar. I would like to be proven wrong, but I would imagine that they kind of sit low. So that's probably my only thing. Other than that, enjoyed the song. I will agree with Gunky that the length of the song could be a smidge longer, but I don't feel like it is. I don't feel like it overstays its welcome. Like, it is a perfect. I would argue it's like just about the perfect length, because I think there's so much variation in this song. But I also feel like it kind of runs its course. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like instrumentally, it's like, okay, I feel like it ends on a good note, personally. No pun intended. And I also got to give a shout out to Dongsung. His voice, again, great. I really liked it. I would hope to hear more of his vocals in the rest of this album. I don't know if that's going to be true, but I would like to feel slightly validated in the fact that we might get some more vocals from him. So Kaylee says Dongsung has a lovely voice. I agree. Kaylee says this is a lower song for me. I still love it. 10 out of 10. Just I would listen to others more often, and this one is like a specific vibe song. That's fair. You know what? My first thought was like, it gives campfire vibes. You know what I mean? I feel like I almost feel like if N.Flying, for whatever odd reason, would invite me to a campfire sing along moment, I feel like this would be it. Like, I feel like they would play this song. Just like, you know, I just feel like they would randomly bring their instruments and just play this song, and I'd be down for it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's giving campfire vibes, and I'm here for it. So Gunky says the next two songs are my least favorite songs, so they're like 9 out of 10s then. So very interesting. All right. Well, we're going to move on to the next one, which is Born to Be, which is not to be confused with, I think there's an ITZY song, Born to Be. Is there not? No? Maybe I might be wrong. Anyway, let's check it out. Ooh. I thought it was. Okay. I've been knocking them out.
절대 잊은 적이 없네 날 뛰게 했던 킥 베이스 이젠 돌아갈 때 Again my team 정해두지 않아 사각의 frame Again my team 돌아보지 마라 다시 reset Next level too high 저 아래서 위를 올려볼 때 까만 밤을 향해 shout But if you start 땅에 박혀 때릴 there's nothing I can do 넌 I fuse Anytime anyone we can win the world But if you start 멈추지 마 There's nothing I can do with a pure heart Break the wall with your light Yeah 막막해 doing it
Is he doing dive bombs in the back? Hyun, you mad man.
날카로운 흐름이야 지끈한 게 아냐 테이처럼 감고 또 반복 내겐 유독 가혹해 보이는 벽화 느슨해진 날들의 공간 속 뿌리가 간의 프로파일 답셉을 여기 벽화에 새기고선 분위기를 bonfire 난 아직 고파 열기가 더 오르길 바라면 나 Again my team 정해두지 않아 사각의 frame Again my team 돌아보지 마라 다시 reset Next level too high 저 아래서 위를 올려볼 때 까만 밤을 향해 shout But if you start 땅에 박혀 때릴 there's nothing I can do 넌 I fuse Anytime anyone we can win the world But if you start 멈추지 마 There's nothing I can do with a pure heart Break the wall with your light
Oh, he definitely was. Okay, cool. All right, this was N.Flying's Born to Be. Very, very cool. Jazz says time for Seung Hyub to shine. Yes, I agree. This was cool. I enjoyed it. Obviously, Seung Hyub did fantastic. I love his rap tone. I feel like I haven't given it a lot of love, but he's got a really good tone. I don't know if I've mentioned it. I don't know if I mentioned it actually at all in the N.Flying deep dive. So I'll mention it now. I do like his tone. I felt like this song was really cool. I like kind of the juxtaposition of having like more of that like aggressive stance on the rapping and then like having like some really good vocals. I'd imagine I don't know if Seung Hyub also did vocals in the song. That's incredible because the range that this man can capture was really impressive. But I enjoyed it. I honestly feel like a little bit of the instrumentation takes a little bit of a backseat in the song, which is not bad. I feel like certainly this was his moment in the song. So I don't feel like the instrumentation kind of being a little bit more subdued, I guess, in some ways, a bad thing. Kaylee says IDK, this song is pretty different from their usual sound, but I think they still do it so well. I definitely felt that way as well. Also something I noticed as well, and this is going to be a very guitar specific comment, but I noticed that like I don't know if Hyun is. I assume he plays with either like something like a strat where like he's doing like more of a fixed bridge, but I also feel like maybe he might use something with like a Floyd Rose, which is like a specific like guitar setup with like locking heads on the tuners. But it sounds like he's doing so typically the technique is where if you're playing the guitar, especially you could more easily do it on a Floyd Rose, but there's a technique where if you press down on the whammy bar on the guitar all the way down and hit a note, that is considered like a dive bomb. And I could definitely tell that like Hyun potentially could have been doing some dive bomb like sounds in the song itself. So I don't know if whether or not he's actually doing it on like a Fender or if he's doing it on like a Floyd Rose guitar, but I thought that was really cool. Definitely something very niche in terms of commentary, but I definitely appreciate it. It was something that I wasn't really expecting in this song, but was a cool addition, and I feel like Hyun always had something unique guitar wise to bring to the table. So I feel like experimentally this was not on my card at all, but I liked it. I thought that was cool. But yeah, overall I thought this was a very solid song. I don't think it's personally one of my favorites, but I enjoyed it, and Seung Hyub killed it. So I feel like those are my commentaries on it. So, but yeah, I enjoyed it nonetheless. And Gungi was saying opposites to Kaylee. That's hilarious. Gungi says, yes, it is an Itzy song. Okay. I thought for sure. I thought maybe I was having a moment, but I in fact was not. So very cool. Very cool. Let's see. What else? We are checking out Run Like This next. So let's give it a listen.
넌 내게 묻지 얼마나 달려야 네 맘 멈출 수 있는 거야. And she said I'm that baby 말리지 마 망가진 몸을 뜨겁게 놔지나 감은 눈을 떠 두 발을 딛고 미어 터질 듯 뛰어 나를 봐 I'm addicted 천만에 난 지치지 않는 게 내 장점이야 I can live it 상상한 대로 모든 전부 이루어졌어 And I'm dreaming 나는 여전히 How can I stop the romance 꼭 기억해 찬란한 우리의 빛나는 설렘을 내게 전할게 더 뜨겁게 노래해 지금을 잊지 마이 밤이 지나도 I promise you truth 그 어디든 proof like 비웃든 move motivation 새끼 손가락 걸고 우리의 청춘 달나라도 어디든 가는 거야 Run like this, yeah everybody come and go Yeah, 잘가 good luck 어디든 have good time 운명처럼 또다시 만날 거야 바라는 대로 그냥 뭐든 견뎌버려 And I'm dreaming 나는 여전히 How can I stop the romance 꼭 기억해 찬란한 우리의 빛나는 설렘을 내게 전할게 더 뜨겁게 노래해 지금을 잊지 마이 밤이 지나도 I promise you truth 그 어디든 proof like 비웃든 move motivation 새끼 손가락 걸고 우리의 청춘 달나라도 어디든 가는 거야
Love the harmonies in that section. So cool.
Everybody come and go. Run like this, yeah, everybody come. 절대 무너지지 마. Run like this, yeah, everybody come and go. Run like this, yeah, everybody come and go. 나의 savior. 찬란한 우리의 빛나는 설렘을 내게 전할게. 더 뜨겁게 노래해. 지금을 잊지 마. 이 밤이 지나도 I promise you truth. 그 어디든 proof. like 비웃든 move. motivation. 새끼 손가락 걸고 우리의 청춘 달나라도 어디든 가는 거야.
Interesting place to end, huh? Very cool though. This was track number 9. This is Run Like This. Very nice. I enjoyed this. This was I think the most shocking part of the song is like the way that the song shifts throughout. I think I was very intrigued throughout the entirety of the song, and I weirdly enough did not want it to end here. I wanted it to be a little bit longer. I feel like it ends on an interesting resolve. So I kind of was hoping that there would be more, which obviously there isn't because we're moving on to the next one after this one. Um, but I thought this was cool. I liked a lot of the vocals. I think Hui Sung is incredible. Like he definitely has some, like his pipes are crazy. Like there's so much good vocal like runs and melody choice in the song that I'm just like, damn. Like I just sat back and was just enjoying the ride. As well as that, I think the instrumentation was really fun. Like it's very major key, very bright. Feels very like, I feel like this feels very distinctly N.Flying. Where I feel like maybe some of the other ones, like they experimented a little bit more. This one just feels a little bit more on the nose. But there's definitely some part. I think this one, I think realistically, from like more of a rhythm standpoint and like structure standpoint, is a little bit more out there. Where I feel like the actual like meat and potatoes of the song feels very N.Flying. So I definitely like this one a lot. I think I would probably give this one another listen to fully feel like, I don't want to say connected to the song, but definitely feel like, oh, okay, this comes to a good resolve. I almost feel like this song feels like a cliffhanger in a TV show. Like, you know what I mean? Like it feels like it makes you want to have more of the song, even though there isn't more of the song. But I really enjoyed it. I thought this was really fun. So very, very cool. There's definitely two artists that aren't in this genre that I feel like kind of similarly have like sound wise, and they're two of my favorites. There's this one band, they're kind of like an alternative, I guess, like pop punk kind of band, but definitely their most recent album, which has been a couple years ago now, it's called Seaway, and the album is called Big Vibe. I, for whatever reason, this song kind of reminds me of that album, which is a great album. Go check it out. And there's another band that disbanded a while ago, but they're also one of my favorites. They're called Lower Than Atlantis. They're from the UK, and they definitely have like structure wise are very interesting as well. But I feel like musically, this is also kind of in a similar way. Not vocally. Vocally is completely different. So if you go into the idea of having similar vocals to the song, I'm speaking more so for the instrumental. But also a fantastic band. I don't know if this reminds me of any specific album, but just like vibe wise, I was like, ooh, this has kind of got a little bit of Lower Than Atlantis type vibes. I'll have to show them off if I haven't already at this point in a chaos, but I love those bands. Shout outs to both of them. Still one of my favorites. Still both of my favorites. Love them. But anyway, we are continuing on. The next one is called Mobius. And we're gonna give it a listen. This is track 10, so check it out. So good. Already.
처음으로 돌아왔어 다시 여기야 몇 번째인지 몰라 그치 전처럼 웃고 있지만 해진 신발처럼 정말 아파 거지 같은 내 꿈 저 별의 주인이 될 거라 했지 아무도 믿지 않아도 돼 우린 함께 있잖아 떨어지는 별의 내
Oh, so good. Yeah. Great chorus. Already. Holy shit.
나의 세상을 내게 줄게 오직 너 하나만이 나를 기억하게 할 뿐이야 너와 함께여서 유독 오늘은 많이 헷갈릴 거야 걱정 마 늘 네 뒤에 있어 뛰어가 눈부신 저 행성을 더 넘어 아주 먼 하수로 믿지 않아도 돼 우린 함께 있잖아 떨어지는 별에 내 맘 가득 싣고 멈춰버린 이 시간에 닿길 빌어 나의 세상을 내게 줄게 오직 너 하나만이 나를 기억하게 할 뿐이야 너와 함께여서
Oh my god. Um, this was track 10, Mobius, from N.Flying's newest album, Everlasting. This is got to be the best song on the album. Uh, I feel like we've got two more chances for this to be dethroned, in my opinion, but I would argue this is probably one of the best ones on the album by a big landslide. Honestly, I there's just something about this song that just is like, I agree with Kaylee that it just has this motivation, but there's something about this song that just clicked. There was just something in my head where it's like it just it all made sense. You know what I mean? Like I also agree with Gunky's take saying that this is the most N.Flying song on the album. I would agree with that. Like definitely moments like in the song. I feel like, and I don't want to say I'm a newbie to N.Flying, but I do feel like I'm probably not as well versed with N.Flying's music, but I do feel like N.Flying, to me at least, if you are singing along and this is the first time that you've listened to the song and you're already humming the melody already, then they've already won you over, right? And I feel like this song is like one of those songs that, especially in the chorus, I feel that if you're already like instinctually not even knowing the song, just humming along to the melody of that chorus, I think that they've got you. And they hooked me because by the last chorus, I was like humming along to the melody of the final chorus. I was like, son of a bitch, they got me. Like that. It's so real. But I love the vocals. Wei Sung sounds insane in this song. I think that to me is just like, it's just like, damn, like I just sat back and it was just like, they could take me. They could take me now. You know what I mean? Like, so I think to me that was like what truly stuck out. And I think that's to me what makes songs memorable, is like the ability to just like weasel their way into your mind on first listen. If there's a song that can get you immediately, then I feel like that's what makes like a song really good. And I'm a little bit surprised, honestly, but also not, that they didn't choose this one to be a title song. I feel like this one would be a great title song, or like borderline maybe a Japanese song, because like this kind of, I feel like maybe tonality borrows a lot from like Songbird, which is also a fantastic song, but I feel like the hooks in this song were just like ingrained into me like already. Like I was already feeling the song before I even knew how to feel. And so I definitely love this one. Instrumentally also really great. The lead guitar work was in this was great too. But yeah, I think this is a flawless song in my opinion. And I stand by my commentary. So best song on the album, unless we get into Log, and Log defeats it. Can't say two or two not, but I enjoy this one a lot, as you could tell. So let's see. Gunky says, how can you not love this song? Agree. Biscuit says, this was one of my top ones as well. Very nice. Kaylee says, valid in all caps. Amen. Uni says, they got me too in terms of the commentary about the humming. Okay, so I'm glad I'm not the only one. And Kaylee says, to be fair, N.Flying is pretty known for having B-sides that outdo the title tracks, LO, even if the title tracks are bangers. I do love Log too. Oh, okay. I feel like that's interesting. I feel like I'd be curious to poll, like, I'll have to poll Discord on this, because I'd be curious who thinks that the B-side catalog of a particular group, it doesn't even have to be like K bands, but I'm curious to know like if people enjoy more of the B-sides of albums versus like the title tracks. I mean, obviously I'm sure it depends on group to group, but that always surprises me for some reason. But very interesting. I as someone who listens to albums from front to back, I find that commentary to be cool, as well as like very intriguing from probably like an informational standpoint. So very nice. I'm tangenting, so we're getting close to the end probably for me. But the next one is Log, so let's check that one out.
우리가 남긴 많은 점들과 끝나지 않을 새로운 순간.
Oh, that vibrato tone, beautiful.
오래전 고스란히 남겨둔 지도 속엔 철없는 자국들 기억나 저기 하늘보다도 푸르른 바다가 있단 얘기 부서라 내 힘찬 젊음아 멀디 먼 나의 해가 있는 힘껏 바다를 비춰
Oh, that vocal bend. Oh, so good.
얼마나 빛날진 알 순 없어도 세상이란 바다에 너를 띄워 흘러가다 보면 약속했던 그날에 너와 날 만날 거야
The tremolo picking, nice.
아름다웠죠 너무 아름다워서 아플 때도 참죠 파도가 잦아지면 잔잔한 거울 같은 바다야 그때는 잘해왔다고 해줘 부서라 내 힘찬 젊음아 멀디 먼 나의 해가 있는 힘껏 바다를 비춰 우린 여전히 잘 가고 있어 얼마나 빛날진 알 순 없어도 세상이란 바다에 너를 띄워 흘러가다 보면 약속했던 그날에 너와 날 만날 거야 잘하고 있어 누구도 정답은 알 수 없어 세상이란 바다에 너를 띄워 흘러가다 보면 약속했던 그날에 너와 날 만날 거야
Ooh. All right. This was track 11. It's called Log. Very nice. This is from N.Flying, by the way. If you've been sleeping under a rock for the past like hour, but this was great. I would also put this amongst my favorites from tonight as well. On this album specifically. I really liked it. I think this felt very anthemic. It was like the first term that I could think of that came to mind. I loved a lot of the ensemble vocals in this track. I think they were just really, really, really gorgeous. I think the layering in this track was really well done. As well as that, like, I'm pretty sure Hui Sung is the one who's doing like a lot of those like power vocals, and like again, the bending vocal bends was just so good. I just thought it was so good. Like, I genuinely was just like impressed by how much power he has behind his vocals. Like, I feel like he's definitely shown off his vocal strength in songs like this before, but for whatever reason I felt very convicted in this song, where I was like it just kind of made me almost like, I almost wanted to just pause and just like really think about it, but I was just like, damn, like, it was just really cool to hear how much strength he has in his vocals. And obviously, like, the amount of presence that he has, I think, is really impressive to me. As well as that, I love the guitar work in this as well. Yun is incredible. Very impressed by it. Like, I mean, again, I've been impressed by a lot of N.Flying's material, but I feel like listening to a full album, it's been really cool to see like the different variations on like his style, and like the way that he's kind of able to incorporate lead work as well. I think has been really impressive. So, definitely appreciate that a lot more as well too. That I feel like maybe I don't want to say undervalues the songs that like in terms of the title songs, but like I feel like I never gave it as much appreciation or thought like in the title songs. But he's shown so much nuance in this album that I'm like, damn, gotta give him the kudos. So definitely like this a lot. This one's definitely amongst the favorites for tonight for sure, 100%. God, the sarcasm in chat kills me. Wait, this is N.Flying. I know. What a shocker moment here. Kaylee says sleeping under a log, sleeping under a rock, sleeping under a log. Oh god. Oh, very nice. Oh, that was a good one. I'll give you the kudos. Sarah isn't here to make the dad jokes. I feel like you're stepping in very appropriately. So Gunky says the next song, Stand By Me, is so good. A great ending song. Another great song originally released in Japan on probably one of their Japanese releases in 2019. Very nice. All right. Let's check out Stand By Me. Not to be confused with another song by Stand By Me. So let's check it out.
Oh, stand by me. Why don't you forget it? 않아 너한 나의 memories. 석양에 가려진 날 shadow me. Oh, stand by me. 흔들리지 않게
Wow.
기도의 기적 같은 brotherhood. I never forget the days with you. Oh, stand by me.
Hey, nice.
Hello, 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 hello. Do you know? 나 혼자서 걸어왔던 원.
Oh, I knew it. I had a feeling. This was strong Japanese vibes. Love that push. That drum roll. Nice. Ensemble vocals in the back. Nice.
Let me know. 끝이여 네 수평선 위 sunrise. Set me free. 닿을 듯 손 내밀어 날 구해줘. We both hurt each other. 죽을 듯이 아파. And we pick up closer, never fade away. Oh, stand by me. Why don't you forget 잊지 않아 너한 나의 memories. 석양에 가려진 날 shadow me. Oh, stand by me. 흔들리지 않게 기도의 기적 같은 brotherhood. I never forget the days with you. Oh, stand by me.
Huh? What?
You wake me up now. We are
Wow. This is gorgeous. Nice.
Forget the days with you. Oh, stand
Ooh, that piano work at the end is awesome. Wow. All right, cool. This was Stand By Me by N.Flying off their latest album, Everlasting. Very nice. Um 12 out of 10. This was a fantastic song. I loved every second of it. It definitely is more Japanese coded, and it's I feel like it's very fitting that they put two Japanese released songs in Korean, the Korean versions of these songs at the beginning and end of the album. It feels like book notes at the end of and at the end of a book. So I definitely appreciate that. I think this song was fantastic. The vocals in this were great. I loved Wei Sung's vocals. I think it was impeccable. I think like the thing that I am most impressed by is like a lot of the great harmony choice in the song. Like I think their vocals collectively are great. Like I think they mix them really well. Like the harmonies are awesome. They're always, I feel like, are on point. So I definitely love that. I think very similarly to Songbird, I love the incorporation of like violin and orchestral instrumentation. I don't feel like it is as prominent maybe in like typical like Korean like N.Flying songs. I feel like it maybe is more prevalent in the Japanese material from what I could gather between these two songs. But yeah, I thought this was great. This is another banger song. I think it's hard to not love this one. I would be surprised if nobody thought this was a good song, genuinely. Just because I think it is so well written. I think the vocals are incredible. The guitar work's awesome. The drumming's extremely sick. Shout outs to, I feel like I haven't given enough love to Jaehyun, but incredible shit. I feel like that like insane like drum roll section is so sick. I love that. Bass work from Dong Seung is incredible as well too. This is like a very impeccable way to end an album. So I definitely love that a ton too. But some favorites off this one. Mobius 100% is my favorite off the album. I think that would I knew that one would be a very hard one to beat, but I think without unequivocally, I feel like Mobius was my favorite one. I would definitely put Log amongst my favorites as well. I also really loved Still You and Love and Memory. I thought those were really good. And then I also enjoyed Everlasting and Rise Again. Those were also some of my favorites as well. I feel like I can't include Songbird, nor could I include Stand By Me as favorites, and that's not because I don't think that they aren't good songs. I love both of them, but I feel like I feel like almost like a little dirty picking them because I'm like, they're Japanese songs, right? You know, like I think to me like they obviously are on this release, which is great, but I feel like they're like, okay, what these songs are good because they're obviously different from their catalog being Japanese releases originally. So I probably would say, at least for me, I would love to pick them, but I feel like they're almost like in their own separate category of songs that I love. But I feel like I couldn't feel justified to pick them because they're not like a song that's like an original song it's just a Korean version of a song that's already there. But that's my opinion. Like I said, I'm not, if you believe that Songbird and Stand By Me are great songs, I still believe that is true. But I feel like for this album, I feel like I got to stick with the ones that I picked. So that's it. That's the vibe. But I would definitely say Songbird and Stand By Me are both incredible songs as well too. So I don't want to discredit them at all. So Gungi says they were both on the same album when they came out. Fair enough. Gungi says my favorites are just about every song. That's true. Jazz says an amazing album. They outdo themselves every time, and I don't understand how that's possible. I agree. They do have impeccable talent, so I'm not really surprised by that. Connie says 1,000 out of 10 album, not biased at all. And Kaylee says nope, I agree, can't be biased. Andy says this last album is so good, my favorite of the night. Hey, let's go. Biscuit says mine are Mobius, Still You, Rise Again, and Log. Ooh, so we were pretty close. I feel like the only one maybe I didn't say that you liked was Everlasting. So fair enough. All right. Well, I would love to get into 10 Black, but it's 11:30, and I'm pretty sure if I did that album, I would be severely fucked tomorrow. So yeah, it's a 40-minute album. So I have to unfortunately call it quits, but I will do 10 Black as the first one. Gunky says, since you're not doing 10 Black, can you do one song for me? I'll give it to you. I'll do the one song, Gunky. I feel like I owe you that at the very least. So you let me know which song you would like me to listen to, and I will check it out. So No Santa says next week will be my last for this. Sounds like I'm not gonna lie, No Santa. It feels like I feel like you're breaking up with me, you know. I'm a little upset. It's not you, it's me, you know. No Santa says next week. Oh no. Oh god. Next week will be my last week for a while, so I need to get my 100K in before then. Yes, you will. Please let me know. No Santa says it's not me, it's you. Hey, whoa. Damn. I've never felt so called out in my life. Gunky says, well, can you actually do 20s by YDBB, one of my favorite songs at this moment? They have an MV. Okay, I will pull it up. That was, listen, I closed the wrong one. I respect that, but also was a little upset. Kaylee says, good job, Brandon, banning me and now forcing No Santa to leave. Plot twist, No Santa and I are dating. This is an amicable parting, you know. It is what it is. So it here we are. Oh my god, this has been the relationship reveal of all time. No, I'm just joking. My girlfriend would kill me probably. All right. And I assume it's the first one, Gunky, if I'm not mistaken. No more one-liners. Yeah, I know. Somebody's got to step up the torch, pick up the torch and do the one-liners, you know? All right, cool. This is YDBB's 20s. If you missed out, that has finally been posted on YouTube, I believe. So check that out. But let's do 20s. Let's check it out. Ooh. The synths are so cool in the song.
더는 시간이 없겠지 이젠 떠나갈 때겠지
Oh.
사는 것과 사지만 더 이상 날 묶어둘 수 없게 너는 끝끝내 답을 찾겠지 나는 같은 길을 걷지 않을 뿐이야
Oh, the piano roll. Nice. Whew. Wow. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. This was YDBB's 20s. If you're hanging out, we did one more song. So, great one to end it off on. I really enjoyed this a lot. I also enjoyed our deep dive or concert series for YDBB. Again, if you have not checked it out, please go give it a listen. It was great. Gunky did a fantastic job. But I enjoyed this one a lot. I feel like this one's probably. I'd probably say this has got to be one of their best songs that they've written, in my opinion. We covered a lot of their songs on the concert series, but I felt very attached to this song, just because I enjoy their like the way that they kind of craft songs, like their vocalist. She's so incredible. I felt like there are some moments where I think her vocals kind of come in more of a subdued way, and I love that, but I think conversely as well, like there's so much like power and like amplification to her voice in this song that she gets to utilize so well. So I really appreciate that. UW I think was really, really, really good in this song. I would say is amongst my favorite performances that she has done vocally. There's just such a convincing way that I think she sings, and this comes across so well. I also really enjoyed the instrumental of the song. I think this is probably my favorite instrumental that they've done today. I love the synth work. Synth work was really incredible, and I love how it meshed up well with like a lot of the lead parts of the guitar. They felt very like synergistic in that aspect, and I think it is only amplified in the song. Their bass player is insane. Like there was some really fun like bass riffs going on in the song. A lot of like bass techniques, like the popping and slapping, I thought was really good in the song. And like just had like a lot of dynamics. I think it's just because I'm almost positive he's using like a 5-string bass, but there's just so much good like low end tone that I think is filled super well in this song. And then their drummer is incredible. I feel like I've made a commentary about how much I love their drummer, but I felt like in this song he is also killing it as well. But yeah, I would also agree with Gunky. This is probably one of my favorite songs that they've done. So that by a very large margin, I feel like this one is very sick. So I'll have to check out the album certainly and give it a listen to. But yeah, this was 2 thumbs up. I enjoyed this a great deal. Gunky says, I love this song and it's the best song on the album to me. Very nice, very nice. Kaylee says, nice noises. I agree. Jazz says the MV is so cute. I also was going to make a comment on how the MV was cute. I agree. Jazz says, great song. I loved it. When he says, very nice. Gunky says, I love this song so much. And they're so good. It's too bad they're not more popular. I agree. You will love Salute. The album is on the album. It's my second favorite. Ooh, Very nice. Very nice. All right. Well, we are done. Thank you for the album streams. I feel like it's been long awaited. Thanks for all the patience and all the well wishes. I'm feeling much better. So glad we were able to do it. Hopefully it will not take this long the next time. I would love to do it more often. I feel like it does happen. So we'll try to do it. I honestly try to do as much streaming as humanly possible. So we will have to cover it in another time. I know Sarah had recommended that we are doing another Boys Planet. I think we have 2 more left. We have a ton of people that have deep dives. No Santas I would like to prioritize slightly since they would be out. But if not, then we could always wait till they get back if they would like to wait. But yeah, I know Wednesday we are doing another Boys Planet, and I think the following Wednesday will be the last one. Asterisks until we get more Boys Planet groups, but I think that would be it for the time being. But yeah, I know we've got a ton more stuff. I also have no deep dives, so very fun. Let's see. Visca says, thank you. Didn't know you had gotten sick. Glad you're feeling better. That's all right. I appreciate the well wishes, Biscuit. Cookie says, thanks for doing all this. Oh, no problem. We're here. We're part of the squad here. So Guggy says, I'm so disappointed you didn't stream while you're dying of food poisoning. That is no excuse. Listen, I do what I try. I try to do what I can to stream. So at the behest of my own health. So, but yeah, we'll be doing that. And then hopefully we'll be getting more into like longer form deep dives. I know Connie wanted to do BAP, which we will have to schedule to do. I know Jazz has theirs. No Santa has theirs. So we've got a couple. We've got some cooking. So I know my partner wants me to do Momo Land at some point, so we'll have to plan to do that. No Santa says, this is Sly. You should cook your own food, chef. That is true. I do cook most of my own food, but there are some occasions where I'd like to go out and eat. So I should, honestly, I should be like in olden times where like I get someone to taste test my food to see if it has poisoning in it. That'd be cool. It wouldn't happen, but Connie says, yeah, I gotta send you the BAP playlist. Thank you, Connie. Gunky says we need to get theirs done. My stream will be getting here quick, so how fast I get. I listen. I am still enamored by how fast you get channel points. Like, I feel like you are lightning years ahead of anyone else in chat, which is insane. So, Kaylee says, chef, yes, chef. That's true. Cal says, Meatball would love to be your food taster. I bet. I can't. I could never. That dude keeps me up at night sometimes, but be damned if I would let him die. He's my goat. Kaylee says Gunky needs to be nerfed. Too powerful. I don't like. I genuinely sometimes. I genuinely like realize I'm like, I feel like Gunky had just gotten like a deep dive like not too long ago. So I'll have to track it. I'll have to. There will be one day when Gunky gets back down to 0. And I will have to literally track the day of when it happened, and I'm curious how fast Gunky can get back to 100K. I feel like it could be I feel like it could be marked, but it's genuinely an anomaly of science, Cal says Gunky's hacked Twitter. I swear. I've done 2 deep dives in a concert stream. That's 250,000 channel points. And that's not including any chaos streams either. That's crazy. Sarah hijacked the whole summer just saying, yeah, that is true, but I feel like y'all want to get into a Waffle House Waffle House fight, and I couldn't bear to see the sight of that happening. So, listen, if somebody has strong convictions and they would like to do something, then they can petition to have it done. So, yes, it's not no one is here to be stopped. I'm here for the people. I try to do what I am one individual, so I try to do what I can. I try to appease the masses here. Kaylee says, but that wasn't based off points, so that's true. Connie says, I just did one concert and I'm at 13K now. That's not bad, Connie. You're cooking. Gogi says, wait for my 5 stream deep dive next. It will be here soon. Jesus Christ. Kaylee says, I'm slowly getting there. That is true. I'm curious who's next. I don't know who would be next. Who would be next on our proverbial list of people? I'm trying to think who's been like hella quiet but is always in chat. I don't know who would be next. I'd be curious. I was gonna say I know Kala has got to be close. Okay, cool. Okay, I should keep a running tally of who's next on the list here. So Kaylee's at 75. I was gonna say it's Kaylee right now. So if Gunky says I'm at like 90K, I would flip my fucking desk. Uni says I'm at 34. Jazz says I'm at 30. Gunky says I'm at 42. Okay, cool. Thank God. My desk is safe. I was gonna Diz. I feel bad for Diz because like Diz is in the UK and they never. Same with Dang. I feel like those two are the. I feel bad for both of them because I always stream Eastern Standard Time and they are both asleep. I'm sure, but if Diz gets close, then I'll. But they are the goats. I love both of them. I love everyone in chat, but yeah, I don't feel like they're anywhere remotely close, if I'm being honest. But if they asked me to do a deep dive, I would do it, certainly. Because I feel guilty that I don't stream in the European time zone. So I'm curious I feel like Harmony comes in and out. So I'm curious where Harmony is at in their numbers. So Gunky says, Brandon, I'm not feeling it. Listen, Gunky, my love for you is strong. So I don't know what you're talking about. Unhi says they need a European discount. That's true. That's true. Maybe I'll make the threshold for EU smaller, but I'll have to get chat's blessing on that one. So, all right, cool. Well, I probably should sleep because it is currently 11:45 on the Eastern Coast, but that is the vibe. Thanks y'all for joining. We will do more of these, so please, if you have not yet, please join Discord, and again, put your albums on the album stream. That would be great. Wednesday we'll continue Boys Planet, and we'll decide what we would like to do on Monday. So come through. Thanks again. No Santa, I will miss you. Hopefully you'll be coming back soon when your life turns around. So thanks again, y'all. Love all you, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Peace.